How's that? Is that working, gang? Can you hear me on your radio? A radio. There's a dog outside. Hey, it's 68 degrees and sunny here about your Detroit. We're doing pretty good. We've got, so far, the Tigers are down about 18 points. I'm not sure if that's possible in most baseball games, but they seem to pull it off. Anyway, coming to the top is the fielder, and anyway, head injuries are not good for kids. So, Paul was yelling at me to start this. Hang on, that's not a great. I mean, some people dig it, but that's not the view for you. He's like, start, and I started. So we're starting. I have no idea, in particular, what it is he wanted to talk about before starting. But I figure, oh, here he is. See, he'll let us know. Hey, I just started. I think I've started. And we're live. In downtown, beautiful, sunny Detroit, Michigan. 75 cents.
Gotta get my side straddle hops in. Alright.
Paint me like a French sergeant.
I'm gonna put this right here so like a breathing tube. You can hear my thoughts through.
You do follow us. Yeah.
Alright, we're here.
Baby, she's my baby.
Alright, you're on point tonight.
I'm on marijuana at the moment.
We both are.
Marijuana, and it tastes so good. How good, so
Actually,
good.
Do you have your stick available?
Do I have my stick?
Does a Jedi go anywhere without their lightsaber?
I do. I do because I really just want.
Because you're the gun Jedi. I get it.
No, actually, I want someone to pull their lightsaber out and I'd be like, go ahead and do it.
Gimme. And then you tickle them with the Force.
Are you actually going to do it? Because I've been waiting for this a long time. Like, if you just cut me in half in, like, a good, like, samurai manner, I would appreciate it. You just...
Like, I know...
Like, a good...
Why they haven't done this in Star Wars, but I do think thus far from how we've seen how the Force can be manipulated, that it is very possible to just, like, give someone a Force handy, and then, like, that's a good...
Force handy?
Just be like, "Bah-bah-bah-bah-bah," and, like, oh, and just make them come, and then...
I like the sound effects of it.
It's a way of getting the guards down, and they're like, oh, I gotta go.
If there was any sound effects like that... I wouldn't be able, like, I think my dick would be like, this is ridiculous. By the way,
use the Force, Luke. You'll last longer.
My dick does have a similar brain to, you know,
the bomb and the Death Star. It just keeps
no,
going right in, and all these
I
fucking...
would say, like, everyday people has a similar dick, or a similar brain to everyday people, where it's, like, very simple...
Like it wants a job and stuff.
Yeah, it
you know,
just
I'm just trying to figure shit
But
out.
it's also like, I'm not down with that. I mean, it's not going to do any, like, real thinking, but it's like, this works for me.
It's like the guy who's like, I don't eat macaroni. And you're like, what? He's like, I just don't eat it. And you're like, okay, dude.
Are we talking about me now?
Well, you have a reason.
My head does look like a dick. So
some people, like...
I think that's why it happened.
I'm still fascinated when I run into adults who are like, if you have a thing where, like, oh, that gives me the shits, don't eat it. Don't impress me with your, like, ability to have diarrhea. That's awful. But, like, people who are like, tomatoes. You're like, how old are you? And also, there's a bunch of different kinds of tomatoes. Like, are you thinking about the half-white green bullshit you get at Wendy's? Yeah. I agree with you. That's not a good tomato.
That brings up a good talking point.
The Third Reich. No.
No, we don't do that stuff here.
No, that's in the backyard. With
So,
the dog.
Like, I'm just trying to keep the devil from reaching out of my soul right now. I no, I. If we're talking about things that people don't want to do, because like I have my allergy restrictions, right?
Yeah.
So I say like I can't have this. What annoys the shit out of me is people are like, I don't eat vegetables,
Right.
and I'm like,
oh, you want scurvy, you fucking weirdo?
well, what I'm thinking is,
And you
I
want to
just
never
want to.
shit right for the rest of your life?
What I want to do is drag them to an island with only vegetables, and be like, have fun, like. If this is the way we get into enlightenment, like, I mean, I'll entertain it. Like, Jesus fuck. Like,
Well,
why would you want to do that?
There's a lot of stories throughout myth. There are these people who, the great hunter who gets dropped into this endless field and starves because it's a farm. Or there's these farmers that get dropped into these woods and there's just only deer to hunt, and they're like, and there's sort of these like duck out of water, whatever the thing is, probably fish out of water.
I mean, we do the same thing for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? We just
it's
have
a useful training thing.
we have greater. So this is a problem with.
Well, it's useful for change because if you want to be a new thing, then you need to be in a new environment because you need to start shedding old shit. And so you need to test your old rules and your old abilities in a new environment because your current rules, they work perfect for whatever environment you're in right now. If you're getting by here, you're doing terrific. And then what you got to do is take that to a different environment, and then you start to go, oh, Cheryl's advice on how to make copies is actually bullshit. Or like whatever things you start to pick up and clarify as you go. But what makes you sort of better is the ability to go through these events and discard shitty knowledge and sort of gratefully go, man, I was dumb for a sec there, and take up this new knowledge. But like, that's the fish out of water stories. They kind of are meant to encourage people to do that, to take that chance, and because that's the only fucking place you're going to find anything new about yourself, because it's not going to be where you are right now, because you already have it. Everything, all the data is here. Like, nothing new will come from this data. So like, you need to get more data. And so just go compare it to other things. How does this do in water? How does this do in the land? How does this do in the desert? I do great in New Orleans. I do great in Grayling. I do okay in Waterford. I do okay, like, I do...
We talk similarly on this subject because I feel like everyone has a place of leadership, right? Mm-hmm. Like, everyone fills a certain role in leadership. Each of us has a boat
where in which we stand as the toughest Viking, and that boat's out there for us somewhere.
I don't even think everyone's supposed to be a Viking. I don't believe that.
Well, whatever the metaphor is, but like there is a boat where you are the captain, and it may not be a big boat because it doesn't fucking need to be. Little boats do a lot of crazy shit. If you go look at history, the history of the Corvette is wild, and it ain't. I ain't talking about the car.
Well,
but like, I mean, little boats get shit done too.
That's part of the beauty is watching life happen around you. I'm beautiful at what I do, right?
Yeah.
I've shown beauty in,
You're a craftsman, and what's interesting is you're a craftsman in a weird skill.
It is, but everyone is.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everyone has their different thing. It's just mine looks...
Right. And you employ a lot of theatrical tactics, which a lot of people don't really pick up away.
That's my mother's heart.
Right, because they're engaged in it.
It's my mother's heart.
Like, you make them a part of... This is the thing I tell a lot of our volunteers is, like, the most important, or to me, the most surprising thing any leader can do is convince people to stay. Because if you're in an organization where I'm not going to shoot you for leaving, then go home. Like, if there's no reason to stay, and then there's people who sit there and listen to these people or take abuse or, like, whatever for some fucking reason, and at any minute they could leave. And, like, what fascinates me is the ability to make people want to stay. And then the ability to make those people not want to stay for some bullshit reason, like hucksters and, like, no, you're just going to stay because by the end of this, you're going to be 9 feet taller. Like, you will be a giant by the end of this. And then they are. Like...
Oh, and I never thought I deserved that. I never thought any of us deserved that.
Yeah. But that's
But
half
that's
of our school system
time.
is that.
Time repeating itself. It's making new things the same as we've read in the fucking stories. And this is what's baffling is folks hate themselves for becoming what
they are.
They saw in stories.
Yeah.
Because they're like, it's not possible for me to become that. But you see it happen right in front of you, and then you're like, oh shit, like, it's real. Like, we're here.
And then what do you do?
Like, I've seen Titans. I've seen, the people that are just okay with doing whatever. And nobody judges anyone for that, like, any of those things.
Some of the cutest boys in Special Forces. Oh my god.
There are some good looking...
If Don't Ask, Don't Tell was not around back then.
I think that's honestly a requirement.
Jump wings, you know what I mean? They could jump here.
Look, Tom Cruise in Maverick.
Oh my god.
Not too bad. But he was trying to sell the point, right? Like, if you're going to be a fighter pilot, you need to have a little swaggy doos.
You need to be a little gay.
And I'll give a little shout out to Tyler Millard.
He's a little gay. No, I love him.
No, you are Maverick, son. Like, you are, like, the pictured image. Like, they made a poster and they accidentally printed your face on it, and then they put Tom Cruise back on there, which is just you in a few years.
We'll have to get some sunglasses made.
That's you, kid. Just remember that.
We'll call them the Millies, and we'll have them gold and shit. And
bow, bow. And then they'll play the Cheap Trick song every time you put them on. This is kind of getting annoying.
Yeah, no. Well, they'll make glasses smart enough to, like, come with a Cialis that you need to keep your dick hard. Because you fucked yourself so much by pulling those G's. You're going to need a little bit of help. So, like, when you put the glasses on, it releases a chemical down to your dick to actually make it work.
Man.
And then you get to wear your glasses while you fuck. So you're...
So an unfortunate side
You're a
effect
monster.
Of some of my work-related knowledge is that blood tends to settle in remain. Like when your heart stops pumping, like it just stops, and all this like bleep, everything starts to settle, and so like that's where bruising comes from. If you ever see somebody's like, oh, grandma's been in the bed all day and she got these sores on her back.
Yeah, Mama had that. The pooling of blood. Like, that's basically what, bruising is just pool of blood.
And so sometimes, if a male is seated or hanged, the blood will pool in their wiener.
Is that hung?
They are after this, because the blood inflates.
When people get, like, hanged, like, do you reference it as hung or hanged?
Well, so hanged, that's an interesting one, because I've always heard it procedurally as hanged as...
Because I would...
To have hanged a person would be
like I hung it up would be
right.
like me putting, like, something up on the wall.
Right.
But if I... Like, the act of... Right?
Right. Is to have hanged. So, like, you hung a person... Like, you could say they were hung, but that also implies, like, they had a giant wiener, which sometimes happens.
Well, would you say I hung them or I hanged them?
Hanged. Yeah. We're not going to be doing any of this shit. We're just getting vocabulary right.
So, that's essentially... Well, I mean, these are conversations that we have every day, by the way.
On just the semantics of, like, banana stuff.
I do like, going back and forth with Jenny every day, because we get a lot out of this stuff.
We're like, how many until it's a mass grave? Like, I guess 4.
Right. You should hear what we have to say about a lot of stuff. We're basically in the lead to get canceled first.
Well, we got to get started first, then they can cancel us.
It'll be fine.
I mean, isn't that the race? Like,
I don't know, dude. I think like for the longest time I was like, oh, there's no such thing as being canceled, and then I definitely saw like, okay, so I see two things because it's
there's no
balancing
such thing
each
as
way.
canceling. First of all,
because there's no effective. Like there is no. It's a series of actions. So it's sort of like a suite of behaviors get put into this idea of canceling. And then and that's kind of what I found interesting too, is that not only was it a suite of behaviors assigned to how we respond to certain activities, but it was also a suite of activities. And so there's some very clear ones like, hey, don't rape people. Yeah, that's not good. As a rape victim, it's not awesome. Don't do it. Hey, you. Quit being rapey. It's not cool. Don't.
not talking to me, by the way.
No.
Do not condone.
Yeah, there's video. For
Any
this
of that
if you're
stuff.
Listening. But yeah, like I blanked. Where were we? Somewhere in Vietnam.
All I see now is rape, and that's terrible. We should move on from that topic.
Yeah.
Dad did a great job of that.
Woo. Man.
My job is to correct that part.
Well, that like
I guess that's why I got Junior, right? So I could make up for those mistakes.
that is such a weird one too. Like, I get naming a kid something Junior.
I hate it. I hate my fucking name.
My uncle was a Paul Jr. too. And it's a lot of like weird samurai pressure of like
Right,
this
but then-
is our
but then
family
you-
name,
okay,
and you're
in-
like, all right,
It works if like the dude is like the dude.
right,
But in my case, I'm like,
yeah.
that's what I'm named after?
I come from straight hillbillies, and then like terrific like sweeties and I love them to pieces.
Yeah, I'm named
But-
after a child molester. For everyone, if they didn't know that, I'm named after a child molester and master manipulator, very physically abusive. Also, could have been great. And it was like a super tragic story about, you know, him, and he presented me with all of it, and then he fucking shot himself when I was 18 and left me to deal with the rest of it.
Yeah,
Kind of like a shooting star.
yeah, bit of a dick move.
Yeah, kind of a...
Like, hey, listen, I did these awful things, and I'm gonna go ahead and not take responsibility for it. Bye. Ooh, these taste awful. Missed.
Yeah, I'm hoping my kids... so they're going to be like the... you know, the ones that could be out in public.
Yeah, we need a like with my I debated having kids, and I think when I'm kind of freeformed on how I'm dating these days, and I'm open to most things. Like if anything happens, I'm cool with it. But like in the past, I definitely avoided it because of how nutty I was, and like the economy wasn't great, and then as a disabled vet, I wasn't gonna ever make enough money to have my own home for a family.
Yeah.
Like, so I was going to have to date with the intent of making sure the person I was dating could also financially support me. And like,
Right, yeah.
it's a fuck.
The way it should be, but
Yeah,
I'm not going to get into that.
True,
That's
but
another
like,
conversation.
it should definitely be a joint effort, but like, I shouldn't be hunting because like, so how much you bringing in? What's your...
I know, the checklist of death is what I call it. Like, that's never the way relationships work, though.
It should be...
How did you and I start? Did we ask for that?
No.
No, okay.
We start hanging out.
It just happened. That is the way your relationship should happen as well. And there's... You know nothing about that person.
My greatest relationship that I've had to date is with my friend Gabby, who I still to this day I love her to pieces.
She's a beast.
She's my hero. She's so good. She dealt with so much
She's
shit.
one of my heroes just by how you talk about her.
Dude, she rules. But wait, what was I saying? I was saying a thing. You said a thing.
Well, get into Gabby.
Oh my god, my brain.
You're going into heroes.
Right.
Okay. You brought up Gabby.
Yep.
You better give her an honorable mention.
I know she rules, and that's what the part I'm trying to get to is the ruling. God damn it, my brain like completely. Okay, maybe if I look at something else.
See, this is fun because this
These are
happens
the-
constantly, and
These
so
are the
it
problems
needs to
that
be
we have. Yeah.
like it's a thing that I have yet to be able to prevent, and so if you can't, my sort of philosophy is you can't prevent it, then develop recovery tactics for it.
Well-
And, like I still haven't come up with a good like, oh, that's what I
Here,
was thinking about.
let's do this. So let's
Yeah.
talk about Gabby.
Yeah.
And
Oh, and then it'll probably kind of come up.
yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So Gabby was.
Oh, how we met.
Oh my shit! You
See?
see?
Holy shit.
Hey, we've been doing
Yeah.
this for a little bit.
That's the trick. Yeah, I just needed a little helper. We met because you never know how. Like, we didn't meet on a dating website. We didn't meet on anything like that. We were at this place called the Ramshorn. It was open 24 hours. I was sitting in the booth next to them. It was Gabby and her friend Jen, and they were sitting ordering food, and they were asking about how tater tots get made. And I am the type of semi-autistic chef that has to answer questions like that. And so I turned around, and kind of out of nowhere, I was like, well, tater tots are actually made like this. And she's like, what?
And then we fell in love. Like that was
The violin, like if you were doing your thing, it would be like all the strings just set on fire and like the violins broke.
And we got a good 6-7 years out of a tater tot conversation. Because I know how tater tots are made. They're the insides of curly fries. There you go. And the outsides of fries that aren't the right shape.
But I mean, you've said a lot of great things about Gabby along the way. That's why she's our hero.
Yeah, she gives me advice that she's one of the few people who sees me, and I think it's unfortunate that she doesn't get that, like, I also saw, like, whatever she thinks I am, I think she's one too, and I don't think she saw that.
Well, I mean, okay, so I typically have to do things in the way that, like, I can show other people what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So the movie Hancock.
Yeah, with Will Smith, and he's a hero and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when they're close,
Mm-hmm. Him and Charlize Theron.
yes, you guys can die together.
Yeah.
But when you're apart, you guys are much greater. Like, you're both superhuman.
Gabby did not understand, but she
Is that the right thing? Like,
she had the same neck as Charlize Theron, and for some reason, I'm not a vampire or nothing, but for some reason her neck was always a huge turn on to me. Like, it.
well, yeah,
I
we
don't
are.
know, I'm an artist and I'm into lines, and there's a thing, but I was just like,
What do dogs go for first?
uh-oh. She did like to be choked every now and again.
Dogs go for the
Hint,
throat,
if you're,
right? That's like your most vulnerable spot. I don't.
true.
People.
That is interesting to sort of have a desire for the vulnerable point.
That's
'Cause,
right.
like, clearly, I love her.
But it's
face,
also the most pleasurable too,
Full
right?
smile
If you give someone your neck, you're giving them the ability to.
True. There's a lot of control points and opportunities there.
That's right. I mean, that's why it's so arousing for folks to be like, you're
Give
giving
people
me
liberty.
control of my life.
Right. Yeah. That is, because that was one of the thoughts I have, is that because sex is related to reproduction in a lot of ways, clearly, that also relates then to a person's sense of immortality. And then I think some of that is why sex and violence tend to blend so much, because it is vulgar, not in a demeaning sense, but just in a, it's a raw fucking thing. And I don't know, there's, I'm failing to have the words, but like, there's something more delicate at the center of it. I'm I literally have lost all words, and all I see is like a flower with a pearl in the middle, and I don't know what that means. So I'll send it over to you.
We've had a lot of... We've watched a lot of anime, so...
Yeah. Well,
actually,
Cyberpunk.
no.
That's pretty much the only one we watched.
That's the only one that I have watched, but that's a lot for me. By the way, Cyberpunk, I'm not lying. Like, that stuff is...
It's so gnarly.
If you can't watch that and have a little bit of appreciation for it, I mean, well, some won't though, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I think a lot of people get bummed
I think
out by
like
the
we
end
get
of
a
it.
different appreciation for it because of what we've been through.
Yeah.
But like it's
difficult for
it's
some
a super
people
good thing to watch
to,
anyway.
Like, spoiler alert.
Wink, wink. But it's difficult for people, a lot of people. Oh, crazy girl.
Let me go let her in.
Yeah. It's difficult for
Unplug for
people
a second.
sometimes to... Here, you know what? Let's hit a music button and I'll take a leap over
Which one?
Hit the laser one.
Laser.
Yeah. Podcast button.
What?
Yeah, I hit the podcast button. It should be... See, I think there's us there. And then they're going to hear it all loopy and stuff. Watch.
Why would he put that?
Because it's hilarious. That's
Hold
a
on.
fun comment.
Are we on?
I mean, we're not necessarily advocating for it. Yeah. Oh, see, look. It's working. Wait. I got to test the sound, yo. Ho, babies, we're in it to win it. In a minute. Beep, beep, beep.
Not sure what we said for that comment, but...
Yeah, we were definitely talking about some wild shit for a minute.
Well, yeah, but...
Deep end.
We know that.
Yeah. We're whatever version of crazy you don't want at parties. But, I mean, you do. But then you're like, fuck. Usually after, like, 10:30-ish. And then you hear something like crash, and you're like, oh, I forgot.
I think that's just old boy being old boy.
We're not allowed to let them have Goldschlager.
No. Old boy's just doing the Rain Man thing. We see you, sir. We see you.
Hello.
Yeah, no.
So,
you come on over here and play Warhammer anytime.
yeah.
Now Warhammer that face down. I'm just joking.
I bought a gun, gangsters, because... And this is important, people. There's all this... Hang on, I'm touching the microphone. There's all this violence out there. And so I was like, I should get a gun. And I think this is good enough. And so, for the most part, my plan is if I get attacked, I'm gonna put bubbles in their face, and then if that doesn't work, we'll come up with another plan.
Oh, come here, darling.
It should be.
Hey, it's okay.
I don't know, cause here's my thought on like if I have a pistol. I'm super clumsy.
Come on.
I drop pencils all the time.
Come on.
Let alone a goddamn sidearm.
All right.
Oh my goodness, Thunderbolt.
Like a wrecking ball.
Holy smokes, baby girl.
Hello, Miley Cyrus. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like it, or you do like it. This is part of the show now, guys. This is our third wheel.
Her name is not Miley Cyrus, by the way.
No.
She's just a wrecking ball
It's
because
the little surface to air
doesn't
mutt.
know her capabilities, and that's probably
Sam.
why she got paired up with a crazy person, which is me.
Sam. I was gonna get a dog, and I'm like, I should get a friend with a dog instead, and then I did that.
Your mannerisms are.
Radio go.
Yep. Nope. You're
Alright.
doing. Yep. I'm getting the same thing.
Yeah.
75 and sunny here. Beautiful. Well, no.
What's the? I haven't seen. I've seen pictures where they're like, "Oh, it's the apocalypse. Canada's on fire," and it looks fiery. But I haven't seen any stuff locally here. Like I hear people saying like,
The backyard's on fire.
"Oh, is it? Oh, well." Yeah, it'll be fine, I think. There's fish back there.
That's what we would end up doing, by the way. If it was actually happening, we'd be like, well,
And
we're streaming, so we're just going to...
there's a swamp.
It'll be fine.
It's real wet
mean,
back there,
right?
right? It should.
The world's not actually ending.
Yeah. Yes.
We're fine.
We should be good, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Right?
If it gets too hot, I'll just turn the AC up. And then, because I have one of those Nest things, and so it'll keep adjusting.
We
it.
have a friend's house to go to anyway.
True.
We're good.
True.
And we have the biggest network, I think, of friends that you can go stay at.
Yeah.
Veterans are the only people you can do sleepovers with.
Yeah, like well into your 50s and 60s.
And by the way, it is encouraged. You're like, we're going to do a sleepover. It's only group of people you can still do that with. Everyone else is
Everyone
like,
else gets a little skeeved out, and you're like,
I know.
you guys want to hang out? We'll go camping, and I'll bring my Xbox.
Who'd that be?
This be one of them bees. Beep, boop, beep, boop.
That's a
Beep, boop, beep, beep, boop.
cancel button, which I do to 90% of my calls.
Yeah, I treat my phone like it's the 90s. I'm like, it's over there. Fuck you, phone. I like being a cyborg, but I mean, it is rough at times. It is a bit much. It's clearly a bit of an overload for the kids.
Which kids?
The children of the planet Earth.
Me too.
Me three.
I don't want to be me too'd. I'm just joking.
I have been. It was weird.
Yeah. No, I definitely got me too during my divorce.
I've been me 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
8, 9. It wasn't. Here's the crazy thing, because like, okay, you can, and you should, for sure, be sympathetic to people who've been through things. But as somebody who's been through something of that, and I like clearly there are people who have been through way worse situations, and so it's interesting to have been through like a lesser degree of heinous. And like, yeah, I got on paper raped, but I don't remember being penetrated, so like, who knows? Picture it didn't happen, I guess, but like the rest of it I remember pretty brutally. But then it wasn't, there was no violence, it was just coercion. They were tricking me with French toast sticks. They were quite brilliant.
I think what fucks with me in that topic. Hey, dear.
Hey, yo.
Please don't do that.
Come join the club.
Here.
Come join the
Come on.
puppy club.
Up here.
Puppy club. Fine. Fine.
Do you want to go outside?
Okay.
I can take you. All right.
It is nice. She wants to go smoke.
Alright. Put pause and just
Okay.
remind me, Dad.
Dad. Roger. Dad thread. Holy diver, you belong too long in the midnight sea. Oh, what's becoming of me? Do 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 do. That's a fun thing you can do, is take rock and roll songs and turn them into like Broadway songs.
All right to the Dad bookmark. Oh,
Okay.
All right, 44, it's sunny here in downtown beautiful Bostonia. And we're talking about dads.
Get my shoulders work. No, I'm just joking. All right. So, what messes with me on this topic
Yeah.
is I was not sexually molested.
Right.
Was not. When my mother called me and asked me, so I was, let's see, I was about to go to boot camp when she called me. Because I was over at Aaron Hawley's house. So, she called me there. She's like, has, anything ever happened to you? And I was like, nope.
Not to be too graphic, but was that about when she was getting towards puberty age? Or, because that's when I started remembering
It was
what
14.
had happened.
For her, it was 14 to 16.
Okay. Oh, it was happening during that time period?
It was those 2 years.
Jesus Christ.
2 years. Multiple, like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like it happened like this date and this date. It was,
I at least got to watch Disney sing-alongs afterwards.
no.
Try and wipe that shit off
My
face.
mom broke it down to me as in, because when she asked me, I said, hey, obviously my answer when she said, hey, did anyone ever do anything inappropriate to you? And I was like,
Are you guys offering?
I was laughing. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, no. Right? It was ridiculous to think that. So, like, I thought my mom was fucking with me for a second. And then, like, reality hit. 'Cause my mom wasn't joking when she said it.
Right.
So it was kind of like, all right. And I was like, wait. And I was like, I get it. And I'm like, nothing happened to me. So that means something happened to someone else.
Mm.
So I'm like, what the fuck happened? Because now I'm like,
Yeah. Now you're doing a little Sherlock Holmes. And
now
you're
I'm like a different person. So like, I'm like,
Ruh-roh.
I'm like, hold on. I'm like, you would not call me and ask me that shit
Yeah.
and not know that, like, not have a reason for it. So,
Yeah.
she told me about my sister,
And it is like,
but that reshaped my entire childhood in like a second.
yeah.
Because he's supposed to be the dude, by the way.
Yeah, well, there's that line from Fight Club that our fathers are our models for God. And if our fathers did all
mine
this, what is
touches
that?
children, apparently. Like,
Right.
wow.
If this is our moral compass is north, well, then... But in a sense, it's not. But sort of societally, like, we're in these positions where that tends to be how we just get kind of put. Is like, you're going to be in this little group. Here's the guy. He's in charge. Do what he says. And it's kind of a very American thing. Like, not unique to us entirely, very clearly. It's sort of all over the place in a lot of different versions. But, like, the sort of nuclear family is weird. Because it definitely allows for weird stuff to happen. Because it creates this small cut-off society where you can start limiting people's access to things. Or, it's where, like, a lot of cults come from. Is that sort of behavior of becoming more and more insular and like, no, everything's got to be my way. And
I know. Well, I mean, I know I'm a narcissist, but it doesn't always have to be my way. I do understand that. I've had my ass beat enough to not, to know that, but it took me a lot to get here also.
Yeah. My rebellion is I'm going to be singing my song no matter what. And so my goal is to like, at least have it be somewhat in harmony with what you're doing. Because otherwise, I'm also disturbed by it not matching. But, like, I just sing the way I sing. And so I'm going to do my best to match up with everybody around me so that there can be harmony. But, like...
We don't do that.
Right, because we just have just general harmony.
We go along with... It's basically both paths just kind of go in sync.
Yeah.
I mean, for some of us, that's the way it's been.
Mm.
Um,
It's a bit like a pack thing too, because
it's like
there's
the only ones I can be around, to be honest with you. Because if you're not running in the same, like,
yeah,
if we cross into each other's lane,
yeah.
you get destroyed.
I do well with veterans, dogs, and cats. Those are and birds. Apparently, there was that awesome time a cardinal just like dropped out of nowhere and hung out with me for a day.
You saw how Sam was with the dogs
Yeah,
yesterday, right?
yeah.
Very territorial little things, and then you put them in a yard.
And then they're like, "All right, we're buds."
It literally, you saw each one fall into a
Oh
role.
yeah,
Like
it was determined who was the lead, who was the follow,
Phoenix was definitely the lead.
who's this tiny little terrier courier.
Yes,
I don't know,
she's
something terrifying.
like a border. She's a. What does Gus have? Corgi.
Yeah, corgi and terrier
Yeah.
mix.
So meant for herding animals, and
She's a little like
dog does a
chaser.
great job,
About
and
this
my
big.
German Shepherd was not a match for that thing.
Not even kinda.
Yeah,
She
no,
didn't
that
know
dog
what to do with
put
that.
her foot down immediately, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Like, that is the way things
she
are
needs it.
supposed to go.
Like one of the things I coined this phrase that sometimes still gets used in CAP, and I think it's a good phrase, and like I think that's probably why it gets used, but I call it the need for puppy time, and you need to schedule in puppy time, and what I mean by that is when you're trying to develop and build a cohesive team, you need to let them get out there and smell each other's asses. And I'm not saying line them up and smell each other's butts, but I'm saying metaphorically and kinda not, because we are pack critters. We need to watch each other.
Yeah,
We need to
animals
smell
just
each
like-
other.
Just
and
like them.
we need to get in sync with each other. Like the whole thing of how women can sync up their periods, or now, I guess nowadays it's safe to say just people who have periods when they get them, they're gonna sync up, and that's not a fluke. That's not the only fucking thing that does that. Like, we all sync up. We all stink a certain way. We all like it or dislike it a certain way. It causes us to stand in line a certain way. And before you know it, boo, boo, boo. Now, that doesn't mean, like, you are naturally inclined or declined from anything. It just means when we get in a room, this is the stuff we use to develop the pecking order in those moments, is how we smell. And so when I want to get a team going, we get them out there wrestling and playing with each other and scrapping, and give them opportunities to tussle, give them opportunities to have small engagements of disagreement and little fights, little pushes and scuffles. Nothing with violence, interrupt, fights, like physical fights and stuff.
We don't.
But you do want like a little bit of shit talking, not bullying. Like, there's a lot of like, we're very precise in what we're doing, and it looks like we're not. It looks like we're just doing Lord of the Flies. But our planning is very specific on what we want this stage of Lord of the Flies to do, and then we take them out of the island, and then we clean them up. And once they've roughed each other up, then they go. Like, if you watch any movie, or movies that do it well, there's always this sort of montage of them where they don't like each other, and then there's the moment where like, oh, they finally blow off tension, and then they're all a team. That's real shit for the most part. Like, everybody butts heads until we go, okay, we're done butting heads, and then after that, it's a unit. They will get what. So like, if you have a team, you run a pack of 6 people who are working at a Wendy's, and they're just not getting it. Take them out somewhere where they can just not do Wendy's stuff, and give them an opportunity to get a little rough. Play basketball, play some kind of a sport, and then where people aren't good at sports, I don't do it. Give them something to do in it. Like, hey, keep score then. You make sure this is the 3-points are right, or I don't know. I didn't play basketball. I did, didn't I? Ooh, I was a forward.
If you didn't play basketball...
Well, Forrest played basketball. I didn't play basketball. Because I would be pretty obvious out there. It's hard to hide when... Yeah.
Viking genes, by the way.
One of these.
It's okay to be a Viking bitch. Like...
Shield Maiden. Hoorah.
You don't have to be... You're a Viking woman.
Well, here's the thing. You don't have to be anything. Like, you don't have to be, oh, one of these days I'm going to be a boob. I'm going to adjust this. It's an awful sound. until it's adjusted. There we go. Because we were talking about this, like, purpose. You know, you're saying everybody has a purpose out there. And I'm sort of saying that,
I don't even know what the fuck that is. But we can continue, yeah.
So my thought is that our purpose is already fulfilled just by being here. And so there is no more need to seek out purpose.
There's no way.
This is our purpose, to pass butter.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Pass the butter.
Yep. I don't agree with that one.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it.
To do this, to experience it, to sit here and go, that was weird.
Okay, well, I would be getting a blowjob the whole time then, like.
And why aren't we? That's the madness of it. Like, clearly, you got to get stuff done.
What woman, by the way, wants her purpose to be blowing me the whole time?
Well, clearly, you get a bunch of them. Friends, there's like a punch card, like a Subway card.
That's why that ring is so expensive, by the way.
Oh, you gotta think outside the box.
That's a pay it forward system.
Like
$15,000.
But there's people who are like, oh, I want to be a this. It's like, well, go
best.
do it. Like, well, I can't. Why? 'Cause of reasons. La 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 la. I don't care about your reasons. Yeah, there's shit in the way. Figure it out. And that's cruel in a lot of ways, because there are things that are difficult to figure out, and there are definitely challenges put in front of people, and certain people have additional challenges put in front of them.
I think we're all here not just to be here.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we have...
Why else would we be here? To do more stuff than be here?
No. Well, that's...
Buddhism.
Okay. Why be here without something to do?
Isn't this it, though? Doing this?
Yes. That is it. To walk the path.
To experience it.
That's right.
To experience what there is to experience.
Right, but that doesn't say, like, oh, I'm here, I understand I'm in existence, and I'm here, and I couldn't do anything, and I'm still here.
Yeah.
But why would you do that when you can say, I'm going to grab everything that I can.
Right.
Touch everyone that I can.
Right.
Like,
that's
make
why
this a world. That's why it was created.
If you look at the void created by nihilism, the idea that nothing matters, you end up with pure freedom, because that means anything can then matter. If you've set the value of everything to 0, that means you could start reestablishing values. So if you have, I declare this world no longer mine, I have quit the world, as the Buddhists say, and now I reset all my values to 0. Everything is shit. And from that shit will grow the seeds of whatever I actually believe in.
Okay.
And then so you go, I'm going to put plus 5 points into charity, because I like doing charities now. I'm going to put plus 8 points into glitter, because I got a glitter thing going now. And take all those, you're respecking is what you're doing. You respec. You do a hard respec, and you go, how many points am I putting into shit I don't care about anymore?
Okay.
And then pull it all in, meditate, masturbate, whatever you got to do to get it loose in your head, and then just start respecking.
Like masturbating.
I know. And then
we all do.
You'll get yourself where you gotta go. And I say it's that easy because those are the only things in the way, kinda, sorta, but clearly those unfold greater stories of discovering what it is you like to do. What are your current proclivities? What are your tendencies? What do you do at rest? What are you doing accidentally? What are you gonna do anyway? Just get paid for that.
Am I
Basically, yeah.
What am I doing?
You were a Marine class for a while, and now you're reclassing as a sort of, kind of like...
Well, I had a big reclass after that one. That was a dual-faced...
Yeah.
Not even a dual-face. That was like Cerberus.
Yeah, like you had...
Cerberus?
Cerberus is the hound that guards hell.
That's right.
I think they have 3 heads.
That was...
Yeah,
that was that guy. Whenever I came out, like, out of the Marine Corps, I had COVID.
Yep.
My divorce.
Yep.
Chelsea's cancer battle all at once.
And so, too,
and my transition back to the civilian world. Like, that was fucking rough days.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say to look at... I say it because it's the only... like, when people ask me... The only thing that makes me smart in any way is I have additional insight in one area, is I can kind of get a picture of the negative space. The shape a thing doesn't make is just as important to me as the shape it does make. All the space outside of it, to me, is part of it. It's part of the equation of the suchness of it. It takes up this much space, but it also doesn't then take up this much space. But that was for... What was your thing before I went into that thing?
We were talking about the vastness of space.
Yes.
And how jizz is formed.
Yes.
Are we getting anything out of that, or...
No.
I was talking about... My brain is literally melted from what I poured out there. So
I know.
Kind of...
Because that's the funny part is when we go through topics like this, we lose our place for a number of reasons. There's the flashbacks and that, like, oh, we're time traveling. And then there's also sort of an exhaustive portion to this because as you go through your memories, it's a lot like running through some kind of room and like spilling buckets out on the floor and you're like, oh shit, here's these thoughts and here's those thoughts and things come with things and everything's in a spider web back there, and so you pull one thing and it's attached to 20 others.
All right, let me go back. I'm gonna go look at it. And
yeah. Because the negative space, like I remember that part. Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Let's hope the echo doesn't kick in.
Right, well, that was... hold on.
Ow.
Like, out of the Marine Corps, I had COVID. Yeah. My divorce.
Yep.
Chelsea's cancer battle.
Oh!
Yeah, alright. We're good?
So there's a hint of predictability.
My transition back to fucking rough days. Yeah. Hey, Repka, I love you 3000, kid.
Like, if you, we need to put the chat on the big screen. We'll get that back up, but we've got it on our
He
phones.
said Warhammer anytime.
Hoorah. We'll do that. Dude, we're getting a building for it, and they've already got tables, so we'll let you know it's going to rule. And it's close, too. But
hey, you're welcome to be a commander in our ranks.
Hoorah.
Our ranks,
anytime.
Knighthood.
It's going to be awesome.
Anytime. You are once in a lifetime, kid.
If you look at let me get one of these pipe cleaners because I like using these. So if you have a line, you have just, I don't know if you can here, I'll put it over here, maybe a little bit.
All right, what are we doing?
If you have like a straight line or whatever, you have, let's turn it into something else. So you have a shape.
Are we doing the Einstein?
Well,
we already know you're a fucking genius. You know that, right?
A little bit.
Okay.
But so you have this shape. You have this U shape. But in this U shape, we also have this sort of tongue shape inside of it. And then we have the shape that... I mean, the tongue shape, in reality, in this form, is a component of this greater out shape. And so if you look at, like, the peaks and valleys of things that have happened to you... Let's see if I can...
Also a vagina.
Then you can start to see, like, oh, this is where these things happen. But then you can start to gauge reactions that happen commonly to those things. So in this case, you have this sort of depression, and then you have reactions to depression that can fall into the depths of... Because as this thing is so deep, the responses are also deep. And so you have options for deeper responses. And so you can sort of predict how at risk a person is. And so, like, there were times when you were struggling and I did what I could, but I knew that you were in a path where you were definitely at low points, but you weren't at a point where I was worried. Like, I was definitely worried, but I wasn't like, call the doctors worried. I was like, this is going to suck, but like, unfortunately, they got this. And then there's other times, like when you were going to go on the crazy walk, where you're like, I'm going to walk to Florida or something. I was like, go for it, dude. Because it's another one where,
that was a rough one for me.
And it was a short period of anger from other stuff,
It was
but
a
it was
lot of
also,
anger all at once.
and it was a quick burst down. So it was
It
going to
was.
be a quick burst back
Oh
up.
yeah,
too.
no, I like drove my head into the ground on that one.
Yeah, and it's and that's a thing we can use for ourselves. That's something like I try to use for myself as a predictive thing is sort of pair responses with, you know, these things happen, and then how do I tend to respond? How do others tend to respond? Like for the leadership component, if you start to figure out how you respond and other people respond, then you'll have an idea of how you can lead people through more precarious situations, because now you have that information of how you handle stress and how they handle it.
How many? We don't deal with these circumstances often, by the way.
Not anymore, yeah.
I'm sorry, but I made everyone's top crazy list. I mean, across the charts.
I laugh too much for them to, like, really take me serious. I was getting close to Joker territory, but then they're like, I don't know, they're fine. Once I started talking about Buddhism a lot, they're like, well, at least he's not going to kill us.
Yeah, if I didn't hit everyone's list when my mom died, I definitely did when Chelsea did.
Bit of a tornado.
Yeah.
But that's that, like, you went into such a drop, and again, and this isn't to excuse anything, and you said it yourself, there's a lot of stuff that you're pretty sure you shouldn't have done. Some stuff where you're like, I'm still behind it, but I get that it fucking sucked for other people, and you have a lot of complex... Because there's
everything
a lot
is
of
complex. It's nothing is like a clear set thing. It's all complicated. It's all dirty. It's a muddy water.
Because the weird trick of being human in any nature is like we are apes trying to do well. We are these primates trying to be human, doing our very best to like hold our shit together, and that is part of it. Is every now and again we're like, you know what, I was hanging out, and then and we just wig out because we're still hints of that. We're still made of components of that, and like that's not an insult, that's not a problem, that's not a curse, that's not any sort of like, it's a gift. Hey, we're the monkeys that God chose to raise up, I suppose. Like Adam and Eve were two lemurs, and I'm fine with that. If that's the case, then I'm cool with it. Like I don't need them to be Italian.
I'm just like every other animal out there. If you leave me alone, I will leave you alone. Like that is the honest truth.
Yeah.
If you leave me alone, if I have nothing to worry about, I will not do anything. But something I said to someone the other day was, view me as like a porcupine.
Hmm?
Right? Like,
Or like a bee.
I won't. I do not want any problem with anyone. If you
That's
come and
the
mess
same
with me, you're gonna
I'm trying to make sure I don't fall.
you're gonna have some spikes in your face that you're gonna have a real problem with pulling them out. I am vicious in my own way, but it's only because you mess with me. I just want to be left alone. I want to be peaceful. Like,
Well, and a thing I do sometimes that I try to dip comedy in as best I can, because that is a natural way for people to deal with tension, because you release tension in a few different ways, and comedy is a huge stress reliever because it allows you to like, and have
you
a
know,
big
I
release.
watch stand-up comedy like it's crack cocaine.
Yeah, and so in those moments,
I don't do
You
that,
gotta be-
by the way. We don't do drugs.
Oh, I was.
Except for weed.
Yeah.
We definitely do a lot of that.
Hell yeah.
but with you know, if I'm wigging out, I do my very best to wig out and also drop a few one-liners down. Like, oh my god, I am also not enjoying this. I'm so sorry, gang. This is weird, huh?
Stevie is saying that because that's what I'm doing right now.
True, but like it's also what I do.
Like, it's at SAR Academy, I blacked out and pissed myself in front of the entire staff, and I came to, I saw that these people were like in tears and wigging out because they clearly haven't seen this happen before. And so I just was like, oh man, I fucked up my shorts.
It's gotta go back on the charger.
Oh.
And so I tried to be funny. I listened to them about the serious points that needed to be serious,
But where I could, I tried to let them know that like I wasn't worried, and so they could start worrying less. I forgot what we were talking about. Something about space. Just kidding. Blacking out.
Where are we?
I don't know. Somewhere near Mars.
Are we
Just
Are we
inside
there?
of it. I'm gonna build a moon base. It's gonna happen.
I guess it's good. My name is Ender.
So it's gonna be sweet. And we're gonna have a patio on the moon. Though we may want to get it covered because
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna be able to afford terraforming it.
I love when people come back with like send them very heartfelt stuff
Yeah.
and they're like,
Word.
I'm gonna one-liner this bitch.
Yeah, dude. That's the modern. I think unfortunately, like we text like Victorians wrote, and that's a problem for some people. Because we're like, my dearest Annabelle, I come to you on this 4th day of November.
By the way, I text sexy as fuck. So fuck everyone. My texting has gotten pretty fucking good. I can create babies off text. I got Chelsea off messaging. Fuck all you guys. I
LOLs
can
are the best of
conquer.
'em.
I can conquer the world.
You should see my raffle.
I can conquer the world with my fingers. Imagine what I could do with those in other places. I'm just joking. Butthole and the other hole. That's it. I don't. And the nipples, I guess.
In the nipples?
And the nipples. You know,
Oh yeah, I guess so.
you gotta do a little
For some reason, I was thinking you're like,
beep beep.
like no, get your finger out of there, get it out.
Yeah, I was talking about actually like ripping it off and being like, how does that feel? I'm
It's like a hatch.
Yeah, I could see people thinking of me like tearing someone's nipple off and being like, now you see my pain. Yeah, that's not what I do, folks. It's
But you would get super close at times. You'd be like, I'm just kidding, and they're gonna be like, okay.
Chelsea was down for the get down. I'm sorry. Chelsea was like, I mean,
spoiler alert. Don't watch this ever.
come on now. She had Culebra on her inner thigh, folks. That means bad dog. On her inner thigh. Folks.
That's where you keep secrets.
That's where you let the dog get loose. Like, that's what she was saying. Oh, shit. And by the way, it's on my collarbone. So I own that shit. Thank you. Now go to sleep.
Man, the future's gonna be weird for the next generation. Like, my family was real into genealogy, and they're like, I heard so-and-so was with the 14th blah 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 in the Ohio River, and then, you know, future generations will look us up and they'll be like, ooh, yeah, they did a podcast too. Like, they're gonna have to sift through all these podcasts of people just like, whoa, dude, I don't think I liked Uncle Terry at all.
Well, they're gonna say that about me a lot. Kid, I already fucking know, and I'm not even gone yet. And I'm
you
like,
killed a what? Yeah.
I'm like, I was a fucking problem. I already speak to myself in the past tense.
But
It's like you're, yeah, no.
because if you have,
And you fucked your signature all up, dude.
like, we don't necessarily owe people, but like going back to my singing idea of like trying to get in harmony with people, like the most I can do if I can't prevent the behavior that I don't like, I can also admit that I don't like it and be one of the people also not liking it in the room and sort of join that contingent. And it's also, it turns into not a us versus them, it turns into us versus whatever the fuck's going on in my head. And that really helps people feel like they're participating in my recovery.
I know. I just only
it's a
part,
practice
like,
thing.
I join against it. I like actively speak against it. I talk shit about myself all the time, and I'm like, you're an asshole. But then the other part of me is like, you didn't get here without that.
Right.
So, like, why are you hating against something that
Yeah.
we had to do in
Why are
order
you
to get
fucking
here.
with all
Like,
these people's friend? Like,
Well-
that's a thought I had too of like, you and Gus, why would I then fuck with your guy's friend? If I'm your guy's friend, why would I fuck with your guy's friend? So I need to stop fucking with myself.
well, I hate some of Gus's friends.
Truth. But
I hate some of Justin's friends more. But I
Some rotten fruits. That's all.
But yeah, dude.
hey, I love Gus to the moon and back.
You know, because there was this one comedian, Stavros Halkias. I love him to pieces. He handles a lot of rough
Savi.
subjects. Yeah, and
The Greek guy, right?
yeah, he handles
okay.
a lot of rough subjects really well. But he was doing some crowd work, and this one guy was like shitting on himself real hard. And then Stavi pulls up like a classic line of like, "Hey man, quit!" Like he goes, "What's your name?" He goes, "Bill," and he goes, "Quit talking about my friend Bill like that." And like, yeah, like
Bill.
whoever the guy was in the crowd, he's like, "Hey dude, what's your name?" And he goes, Bill, and he goes, "Hey, don't talk about my friend Bill like that," because the guy was talking shit about himself.
Oh, okay.
And like that kind of reminded me of just good childhood advice that kind of gets passed or like skipped over, or at least I did, of like, if you're sitting there shit talking yourself, like, hey, quit shit talking your buddy's friend. Like, give yourself honest critique. Like, yeah, I gotta fix this, I gotta fix that.
Well, yeah,
But also,
no,
like,
I get it.
you're
and
not gonna be able to fix everything, and so blaming yourself for everything, like, you really, because blaming yourself for everything also kind of shows the priorities of what you think you have the capability to fix, or what you believe is something that needs to be addressed.
Go further. We're gonna push pause on that for just 1 second.
Yeah. I totally forgot what I said, so.
You're already lost.
I'm not even lost. I have no idea what's going on. My brain is in pieces. It's a jigsaw puzzle. Made of
Alright.
jigsaw puzzle.
You're talking about
parts.
talking shit about yourself.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
being like, hey, don't talk shit about my friend like that. Because I say, the meanest shit I say in the world I reserve for myself. I'm a sweetie to most people. And then to me, I'm like, you fucking godless cunt. Get out of here. You weak piece of... Look at you, you filthy pig.
And I speak pretty highly of you,
Yeah.
right?
And then so, which of us is right? I have to like then...
Well, I'm obviously right in that circumstance, and I'll take. I'm gonna take that one like a prancing horse. Like, yeah, I know I win this one.
So that's a head start, really, if we know the value of X.
I get to do the. I get to go through like the champions thing at the horse rodeo and be like, that's me. I know I won that one.
And then so if I'm wrong about these things, then that means a lot of great things, though. Like, to be wrong, to be stupid, there's tons of freedom in that, too. Like, not to stay stupid and stay ignorant. That's... But to recognize, you're like, oh, shit, that's the best moment of my... That's my favorite moment in life, is where I go, oh, when I learn something new, it, like, thrills me to no end. Because it helps me stitch together this greater picture of, like, all the stuff I've been studying. I have kind of a picture of what human beings have been doing for the past 10,000 years. And, like, I still want more. I want more information. I want more history and stories and music and blah, 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 blah. But, like, everything I discover, like how Chinese food is made and how hot dogs are made and how pencils work.
I mean, we
and
do.
how math happens.
That's what
and,
we do
like,
most of the day is like sit here and
Yeah.
watch videos about how stuff is done and what's been learned. We have an endless need for that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that is our crack.
Yeah.
Is
And it's
information
in
and
a
like,
sense discovering, and I think this is sort of the intent of, like, biblically, the idea that through knowledge you discover God is, it's this crafting of a better picture of the universe, a fuller picture of the universe, by seeing all the other things in it and learning about all the things that were in it, not being afraid of history because, like, oh, it turns out my uncles were skinheads. Shit happens. I'm not, so whatever. Like, we don't have to be
afraid of what's in our family tree because I know what's in my family tree.
Oh, well,
and it's gross half the time.
I should talk about that. So, well, I'm not bald right now, but
Right.
that's
Little peach fuzz.
my typical thing when I care is to be bald. And when I go out in public, I get a certain...
Yeah.
People think about me a certain way.
You get the nods from skinheads. They'll like, "Hey, brother." I get that sometimes. I'm like, "You fruits."
You know what? That's basically what I want to say back to them is be like, we're not even in the same world right now.
I wish, and I wish I had the authority to do this, but like, could we go back to that South Park episode where they were calling all the bikers faggots? And they're like, no, faggot means bikers who are super loud and you know, they're not considerate to other people. It doesn't mean, ooh, why would you think it means homosexual? You're gross. No, faggots are this. Like, those dudes are faggots. Can we do that?
I mean,
go back to
wish,
this?
I
Because
wish
it's a
things
fun word.
were that simple.
Can we just
you know, like
redefine it?
for me, and I'll say this out loud. I don't care.
Faggots rule.
My family and I. Well, I mean, obviously, I live with.
T-Dog, what up?
Here we go. Like, obviously, I don't have any fucking, you know, adverse feelings towards basically anything.
Yeah. Or choice in the matter.
Outside of other people's choices to do things, I don't give a shit. The only adverse feeling I have is toward the choices that I make and the things that I've done. That is what I'm accountable for. But to go back to, we were talking about, so skinheads, right?
Oh yeah, those boys.
I'm perceived a certain way, and I'll let you guys know, like, this is honest. My father was crazy as shit. My father
was not nailing it. We could start with.
Look, if I had to say one person I'm most scared of in my life, still to this day, and he's been dead for 20 years, it would still be my father. That dude was insane. Listen, don't make any comparisons. Relax.
Yeah.
Okay? He was...
Because even, like, I've got, like, some weird ones, but my parents were quirky at best.
Yeah, we're... like I said, we're kind of, like, watering it down for my kids, so...
Grandpa was a monster, and we're trying to figure out what kind.
Yeah, no, I'm...
Werewolf, Frankenstein...
I'm basically saying, like, my dad's legacy dies with me. That's why I didn't name my...
Yeah.
My son, Paul Hodge III... I wanted it to die. I wanted it to die with me.
Yeah.
No, everything. Like,
yeah.
I wanted everything that my dad did, said, all that crap. I know I did my own stuff, but folks, you have no idea how much of a watered down version that is. Like,
yeah, like, we may have to figure out how to unpack that. Like, I don't know, that might be. I think that'd be interesting to do in a bigger group, like when we get the studio space and have like the pit set up, because I think a lot of us have interesting relationships with our parents, and I think some of us, especially, I shouldn't say especially, just because you're a human being, like, this generation isn't unique in that. Like, my grandma had a rough time, and a lot of people encounter it. And a lot of people feel isolated in it because that's part of the procedure. Part of bullying and part of abuse and part of whatever is isolating so that they can continue to fucking get you. And so you do feel alone in this process. Like, you're the only one. You're the only one who can protect your family. You're the only one who's getting hurt. You're like...
Well, I mean, my dad was evil to the point where I felt like you got to cut out the infection.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it will spread.
Right.
But it did spread to me.
Yeah.
Like, my brother obviously did not have the same exposure, and he became a much better man. So that's all I have to go off of is
Well, you've got like nature and nurture arguments kind of tucked into that of propensity sort of naturally, like enough juice in the head to start a thing, and then if you're put down a certain path, it's not necessarily determinism as in like this had to happen, but like what else was going to happen when these variables got slapped together. Like A plus B is going to get you C. Like, and I think that's a difficult thing, because like that's the, like karma isn't points of like, oh, you did good and now you get 6 heaven points. Karma is like regrettably the sticky wave of bullshit that happens when all of our actions interact with history, and like everything comes to bite us in the ass, and all of our good intentions start paving us a road to hell. That's the whole like.
I know, I am my father.
Yeah.
I refuse to let that happen again.
Well, and it's you've been sort of symbolically handed that authority, and you do have that capacity. And so a thing that the Nichiren Buddhists like to talk about is the ability to resolve family karma, which is a wild set of words if you're not like fully into what that means. But effectively what that's talking about is this same thing of 1,000 generations of kids getting smacked in the mouth until finally one of us just fucking stops.
Right, it wasn't just my dad, it's everything behind him, and that's why...
It was for sure a grandpa and a granddad and a great-granddaddy and a great-great-granddad and a great-great-granddaddy.
You're absolutely right.
Great-granddaddy.
And all I did was...
the one to stop the hand.
Well, hold on. My dad taught me... Like, basically what he did before... This is terrible. This is bad stuff.
Yeah. He was in some organizations that had a dress code.
Well, yes. My dad was part of the KKK.
That too. So they have opinions on stuff.
Oh, that's actually part of the reason, like, I believe so strongly in my views is because that was the first time I hated my dad. Was I had just learned about the KKK in school, went back to my dad and asked him about it, and he laughed. And he was like, you don't know how many people you shook hands with who are high-level members of the KKK? And I was disgusted, and I was a kid.
Right.
I was a kid looking at my father, the man who had taught me everything up to that point.
And then also, too, here's a question.
Some ridiculous shit.
As
like,
a kid
what
being
the
told
fuck?
racist stuff in the 90s, when some Peckerwood's coming at me, telling me about master race, this, that, and the other thing, really, dude, you're going to fight Michael Jordan? You're like... Even, like, there's a lot of layers of absurdism, but, like, there's also these weird... It's such a goddamn fantasy, the whole thing. They're out to get me, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that, and I'm going to do this, because I have magic powers, because of my Aryan blood, and my crazy hair, and, like, shut the fuck up.
I never understood any of the shit that they were saying. I'm like...
Dude, it's wild shit.
In that Baptist church that I was going to... I'm sorry, folks, if you actually believe this shit, like...
It's unfortunate. Like, and
not
to say, because...
Can we wake up for a second and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And he's of the opinion, too, that I am, too, that, like, there is a lot of, like, excellent things at the core of what Christianity ought to be. But, like, he's been to some rough churches, I've been to some rough churches where they're just not fucking
Well,
nailing
we
it,
understand the point of religion...
to help people.
Folks, that is the... Yes.
It's a hospital for the other part of you that's broken.
It's morality.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just...
Just chill and be good.
It's
Relax.
someone's dictionary on what you should be and what you should not be. It's not like... I'm sorry, but like so many folks make this like way overcomplicated, and they're like,
or they think it's like
I need to shed my skin. No. You should shed your skin when like... You've been through some of the crap that we do to each other because we misinterpret that book.
Like, I had some people come up to my house and proselytize, and they didn't know it was me, and
that's fine for them. But they started yapping at me, and I appreciate their passion and all that. But what upset me is that when they decided to quote scripture at me, they decided to come at me with a chunk of revelations about all this doomsday end of the world shit. And I hit them back with, I've got some favorites out of Book of Mark and Book of Luke about more of the living spirit of God, and like how there is already victory achieved. And they just got mad in a weird way because they were so into like, no, it's the end of the world, we're all gonna die, Jesus is coming, and they couldn't understand when I told them like, no, Christ has already come. Like, if you go ahead and read to the end of the book there, that's the whole fucking point, kid.
We have a spiritual connection.
Yeah. We're both warrior monks of a very peculiar type.
Right, but we understand, like, I am most connected in, like, if you put me outside, you have me doing anything, especially at the search and rescue school, like...
Yeah.
That is literally, like, my...
Yeah, you put me on a bike I've been on before, I will do some cool shit with it.
No, it's that is my playground. That is where I'm like spiritually awakened. We have a spiritual connection with each other. What I don't like is when people are like, well, it has to be a certain way.
Yeah.
In order for you to get to heaven.
Well, so
listen.
You finish and I'll try and remember the word I'm thinking of because I'm going to stutter and stuff for a sec.
So.
You're good, so.
Do you have a keyword that you can hold on to?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I was saying was, I don't know what will happen after all of this. I don't honestly care.
Yeah, we should be more concerned about what's happening during this.
I'm fighting the fight just like everyone else. I mean, what happens after is irrelevant to me. I have a fight in front of me. That's what I was trained to do. That's what I do, is I fight. So, whether it's today, tomorrow, down the road, when I finally kick the bucket, doesn't matter. A lot of people tell me, like, hey, you need to be this way, or you're not going to go that way, but that's not the way that I work.
Well, and so there's this idea in certain forms of Hinduism. I'm not sure if it's bhakti. My brain is telling me it is, and I'm looking at this, and I don't think it is. But there's a form of worship in Hinduism where the worship itself is more important, because after long periods of religious study, they got to the idea that, well, if these ceremonies summon the gods, then these ceremonies themselves are more powerful than the gods. And so in a way they commit the ritual as a form of worship to the ritual itself, as a form of salvation.
I think that's what I don't like, is that people make too much of it.
Yeah.
Like, because you make too much out of the deal, like...
They think that's how it works. I pull the slot machine 4 times and I win.
Yeah, if you love God, you love God.
Right.
Okay.
Done.
Got it. Done.
Good. Moving on.
If you want to whip your dick out, I'll measure it for you.
Yeah.
If that's what you want. I don't care. If you can just move... Right? We get it. You love God. Next person.
Yeah. Well, and then you've got people who have, like, concerns where, because of how things are explained and how things are communicated, and, oh, this group is that, and that group is this, and they're doing this, and, like, none of that shit. Like, the transgender care for youth isn't a thing. They're banning a thing that's not real. And so, for the most part, there are some, like, pharmaceutical options where kids can do about puberty age, where people are saying they can get married and have kids for some fucking reason, but they can't decide to not.
I think we need to... Okay.
Yeah. It is a heated subject.
I will... This might be a heated topic for us, too. But...
Yeah.
I think they should have to wait at least till a certain age.
They do already.
Like 25.
Yeah.
25, you can decide.
Well,
I don't
so-
care what your decision is.
With the puberty
But-
blocker, that's the only thing, that's the biggest thing right now that is a pharmaceutical intervention. And that is, and typically the way that works too is you're going to be with a team of people. It's not like I decided to do this. There's going to be a team of people. So at the VA, I have a team of people who administer my
Well, the
medication.
VA is a terrible thing to reference because
True.
now I'm thinking it's all fucked.
They suck and they're still doing pretty good. And like, so if we think even the VA's got this, I sit down with therapists all the time. We talk about what I'm going through, what I want to do, what I don't want to do. I'm taking the hormones because it's more for an emotional thing to get rid of the sort of emotional dysmorphia. And when I'm on my hormones, I feel wonderful in a way that I've never felt in my entire life. And it's not like, it's something that the drugs could never do. It's something that a lot of things I was looking for could never do. And so I'm fine with that. And I'm fine with, as a result of side effects, it's going to change my body a bit. It's going to change how fat
I
gets
get that,
placed. It's
but
going to put some boobies on me. And
You're okay.
but-
So
and it's a matter of-
you've been through life,
Yeah.
yes, and you know absolutely 100% this is what you want to do, and I support it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of kids, along with me, I would put myself in that category as well because I don't even know what I am up to this point. Like,
Yeah.
you're an evolved version of.
Well, I'm more contemplative about things, but I don't know that I don't know that gives me additional insight to things that are sort of instinctual and part of a person. Because these are, either you like it or you don't. It's Pepsi or Coke, and you're into it or you're not. And so there are people who at the age of 6, when I was a little kid, I wanted to do Lisa Frank posters and stickers. And I
You
wanted
were
to
also
do,
getting exposed to a lot of other things at that age.
yeah, I was human genitals, but also like the
well,
military.
not human
and,
genitals,
you know,
but you were getting exposed to like someone pressuring you into that.
Yeah, there was a
So-
lot of like, you can't, because it was put in front of me that if I wanted to go to college, I was going to need to join the military, and if I was going to join the military, I should join CAP because that's the best shot. And then you get in CAP, and they technically didn't have Don't Ask, Don't Tell. However, if I came out in CAP, that was for sure going to show up when I fucking enlisted, so I had to keep it under wraps in CAP. And it wasn't even a matter of like keep it under wraps.
That
it was
was
a matter of just
that was
not
Gus
doing
too,
it.
by the way,
Yeah, and it's a matter of just
and Nick.
yeah.
And that's by the way.
And another Nick too, Nick Clara, Spots Cadet, I think. Sorry, Nick, if that's an out. But
By the way, folks, these are
He's
three
adorable.
of the best commanders that could have been out there. All three of them were exposed to this stuff. Nick, you, and Geddes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
they
grew up in
literally
it,
could have
so.
taken an entire like armed forces branch and ran it,
Hell yeah.
or they could have had their own. To be honest with you, like these are three generals
Yeah. Some
that
people have low dreams.
got
of
wrapped
becoming
up
the
into this
president.
crap. That's
I'm gonna take over the world.
this is why, like, this is so shitty. Is like I was a gunny in the Marine Corps, and I can talk about Stevie in this manner because I've seen great commanders, bad people. Like I've been to war. I've seen the whole. Like, let's just say I got it. I see the picture for what it is, and I know that we fell short on these ones.
Yeah, and the way that sort of worked in the long run is in causing people to deny portions of themselves. They were denied access to portions of themselves, and so they could never really be 100%. And you get a lot of burnout from people who were good performers but couldn't do it because they couldn't be themselves. They couldn't be free, and so they were putting more effort into not being a thing than, like, in addition to the task at hand. And like I was raised in it, and it was put to my head that somebody would tell me if I was trans or whatever. Like, basically,
I was like, I like these things, and they go, no, you don't. And I go, okay, because that's why I picked.
I
Andy
never
Durden,
cared
'cause
what
I was
you
Forrest.
did. I never cared what you did at all.
And nobody really did. Like, I don't think my folks would have wigged out a bit, but like,
They'd be fine with it after a minute.
Well, yeah. Why? Who am I to judge what you do? I'm sorry, but like, to me, I'm like, yeah. Like,
yeah, it's not the most interesting thing about me.
Watch it prance around. Like, do you guys not see the beauty of what's going on here? It's not like folks like to make like this thing about, we have to be a certain way and we have to look at things a certain way, and that's just not it.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's a bit of a waste of time, because if we've already done that, then like clearly we had all the results we're going to get from it. So if we want new results, we got to do new shit.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead. You live the life that you think.
Yeah. But we're going to do new shit.
Is on course, and go ahead. In one day, something's going to happen. It's going to shatter you to a million pieces.
Yeah.
Because it happens eventually. And I never wish it on anyone, by the way. I don't.
Part of the package. The 3 pieces of suffering are age, disease, and death.
Yeah. And it's going to happen to everyone. And it will touch you. And sometimes it takes a few... Sometimes it takes a few shocks to...
Yeah.
To take someone down. Like, that was me.
Well, and what's wild, too, is...
But it will take you down.
The value in it is it shows you how small you are. Because in these moments, like, it's just... Whoever's there is whoever's there. And whoever's... Like, the negative space is much larger. And so the impact we have is great. It's deep. It's huge. It is a aching cut. But it's still only this big.
Yeah, you're right.
On the surface of a rock. It's just a group of 6
we
people
are
standing around a box.
A blip in time of thousands, millions of years.
Yeah.
I mean, life has been around for billions of years before us. We are not, like, we are only infants to what we're doing now. It's not like the other way around. We're not recreating anything here.
We're only discovering
the actualization that we were and will always be exactly what was created before us.
Which is the next one.
We are.
I've gone through and I've had an opportunity to read letters and stuff from ancient times, like thousands of years ago. And there will be shit in there that you would find on Facebook today. Like, Cheryl's a bitch. Rob is awesome. Come on down to Sue's place, get 50% off with your order. Like, just...
Mike's a bitch, call this number.
Dude, there's dicks drawn on stuff. There's, like, Viking graffiti. Every era of humans is just fucking humans. They just have different gear. That's it. We just have different gear, and we're doing the same shit.
We're doing the same thing that's been done.
People that say they're in charge because they were born that way, and they're like, "Well, this is pretty convenient, so I'm going to just keep saying I'm in charge."
No, I know. I've come, like, I think I've gotten to the realization that, like, I'm not like an overlord or anything like that. I'm just a fighter.
Yeah.
Like, that's me. I'm a fighter.
I do.
Jenny is an influencer. A positive impact to the community. Don't show your nipples.
Okay. I guess positive impact.
Lots of great things. Also, a leader. I can be a leader. It's just at a smaller term. Like, I can't handle as much as Jenny could, but I can handle my own little team. And I can do a really good job of it. Like, that. Those are the realizations that I've come to. I wish that more people would come to the realization of what they are and not see what the world portrays that you have to be.
Yeah, clearly, if you want it and it's not there, you got to make it. Like, that's the thing. You're, oh, fuck, I wish this was here. Well, that's the signal that you need to make it. That's God himself touching the back of your head saying, hey, do me a favor and build one of these.
Most people don't want something to be built. Like,
Well,
sorry,
there's
but
a lot of work. They got to learn new skills. I learn how to draw. Fuck me. How does electrical work?
over 75% of you are going to be sheep, by the way. And that is okay because
It's kind of a bitch in life.
you're not meant to lead folks, and that is okay 100%.
Yeah. Reporting from the woods.
Like,
it is
that's where all the
scary.
creativity and the art and, like, the beautiful things come from is
Well, I think that's...
from the flock. It's not, like...
It's where we find a lot of benefit in giving veterans in particular sort of creative outlets, because it's a way for us to say what we've seen without having to say it. It's a way of showing you things we've like.
Also
we
what
can
we're
be
doing right now.
an impressionist about it and give you a feeling. We can be direct about it and show you a for real sort of representation of it. There's so many different ways to scream and be heard that don't hurt your throat as much. And like, these are great opportunities too, where, and for anybody, not just veterans, but like veterans are in particular have insight to a lot of darknesses that civilians have curiosity about. Like, if you look at their podcast consumption, they're really interested in what it's like to suffer, what it's like. I almost wonder if they're like, am I suffering? Does this count, what I'm going through? Or maybe it's a check of like, oh, at least my shit's not that bad. But there's this curiosity out there of like, what is it like in the dark? And we can tell them, it sucks. But if you end up in the dark, here's what you can do. Here's how flashlights work. Here's how candles work. Come on down.
No, well, if you're in the dark and you can't find your way,
Just holler. We'll be there.
that too, but stay fighting. Like, don't quit, ever.
Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going.
I fought in a dark room many a times. I still do it to this day.
Yeah.
You swing until you hit. That's all you gotta do.
Or even sometimes, too, there's the point of exhaustion where you swing until you don't. And then you just stop. And then you sit and just be in darkness for a while.
Sometimes you can yell loud enough to break the walls down.
Yeah.
And I've done that too. Like...
And then someone comes around.
Sometimes you feel so defeated. You do like Matrix shit, and you're like, "I'll just bend the wall." Like, fuck the bullshit. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, like
like
destroying your own metaphors.
You get so angry that you like flex hard enough to where it's like,
and it's wild.
I will blow the floor out of this building.
And a lot of people don't believe that I have anger issues because I'm pretty laid back on the wildest shit. Like, you could steal my car and I'm like, well, they probably needed it for a minute. But then, like, I'll bump my leg into a box and
I've
then
stolen your car for
it turns into, like, Joe Pesci and Arlie Ermy and, like, you fucking son of a bitch, goddamn motherfucker. Like, pure vitriol. And then I'm like, sorry, babies, I don't mean any of this at you. But, like, I get aggressively.
If Jenny
pissy.
runs out of weed... they will threaten you.
It's my summoning sauce.
Literally to the end of your life to get out of this door.
My girl goo. Now she called something different.
Does not fuck around with that. I mean, literally, I found this out. I don't want her to hear. I feel. She almost killed me to get weed. She was gonna kill me to get weed.
Wait.
I had my car parked behind her car. She ran out of weed. And then she got so angry I thought I was gonna lose my life. But I came downstairs and very cute. very cute the reaction of how upset Jenny was that she couldn't get out to get weed. So I just came out and gave her a hug.
Yeah,
And then I moved my car.
That was a weird. I was like, I hadn't woken up all the way, and I a lot of times I'll use the sort of dissociative effect of pot to like wake myself up and sort of summon myself. And early in the morning, I can be a lot of unpleasant or meek or quiet. And so the version of me that woke up first just was too chicken shit to ask him to move the car. And then I was like wigging out the whole fucking
Which is
morning.
insane, because any time during the day you could have been like, "Hey, asshole! Like, move your car," and I've been like, "All right,
Yeah.
all right,
It was...
Sam Jr."
At no point needed to get that way, but it was so like... And then, yeah, once I popped, I was like, and I'm back.
My
Smoking
dog,
pot.
my dog does the same thing. Like, wants something, sits there, does his thing. I wish that Sam would just be more upfront with communication, because
She is kind of like...
sometimes I'm like, "What do you want?"
She's a bit like a chick. Like, you'll figure it out. Like, bitch, come
Well,
on.
maybe that's it. Maybe
don't
she
speak
just.
Right.
I don't
She
get
does
her.
play like... She does like to play hard to get. At least with fetch, because...
I don't know. It should be like,
My
I
studio.
might want to go out, but
Hmm.
I'm okay with laying here too. And I'm like, "So you don't need to go out?"
Until it's like 7, and she's giving me a big bear hug.
I know. And then she's like looking at me like, "I'll tear your face off," and I'm like,
Well,
"I'll let you out. I would have let you out hours ago."
with me, she's getting really good at hugs, and so she gives these like really nice, comforting hugs, and she's kind of like, "Hey, you wanna?" And then she like, it's
I know.
it's a
She's
communication
vicious
thing.
little
She's
velociraptor is
manipulating
what
me,
she is.
Is what she's doing.
Hey,
She knows
Mima.
if she's nice to me, I'll be nice to her. And she's
Chicha!
like, hey, bud, could you?
That means prison bitch, by the way. I learned that in jail.
I wanna be a chicha.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, they called a bunch of people that
Hell
in
yeah.
jail.
Now I know what gang I'm in. The chichas. Is that a gang? Can I join the chichas? Can I start the chichas?
It's prison bitch.
I'm gonna start the chicha empire.
I mean, so you're gonna be what, like the
Mm-hmm.
from like the Lange's yard?
I'm gonna be holding everybody in the prison by the dick, so I'll be in charge.
I just wanna pull up a clip because I think I think this is totally relevant during our stuff. By the way, this is how we talk every day. I don't care if this goes for 10 hours. This is what we do.
This is gonna be happening
like every day.
regardless.
You guys can sit there and masturbate. We'll continue to do what we're gonna do.
OnlyFans and do that for a minute, and then switch it back. Like,
There's more money, but
I need to
more
work my
money
belly.
there.
Yeah. If I was more confident in my butthole, I could make a ton of money. But I don't know. I'm camera shy with that. That's a lot to ask a gal. Though I do endorse it. Sex work is work for sure, because the customers are fucking. Well, they're fun.
Come on, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Give me a D. Give me a I. Give me a. All right, I got it.
All right.
Don't act like you ain't want to see more, Brucey. Yeah, you wish, pal. No, you wish I'd kiss you again because your breath smell like 8 cans of shark shit. I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. What's he talking about?
What's he talking about?
I'm sorry, but
10 cans of shark shit.
that is yep, I could see you doing that in prison. You'd be like, "No, ladies, we are gonna organize.
Yeah. I would have a prison revolt. I would be in charge, and
Where is
Or
my
be killed
dick
the
sucking
first day.
crew?" We are gonna do this the right way. Okay?
Cheese, where are my cheeses? Come babies.
Bring,
We're going to be like
bring me a notebook. We're
There.
gonna get some rules down.
the prostitute spies from Game of Thrones. We're going to be
Okay.
those ladies.
Only
Yeah.
choke me when.
Right.
Colon.
Well. That's in there too.
Don't worry. I mean,
A fun one you can do to somebody is go, hey, could you do me a favor and root up here and
See if I left my G spot where I thought.
don't worry. I did a little, lickety dickety myself, so I can talk about this stuff. Don't hate, all right?
don't knock it till you try it.
Don't judge by the thing, all right?
The other thing, though.
Don't touch that thing. That thing will hurt you. That thing is a trained fighter. I'm bullshit.
Mango.
Gladiator.
I'm all of a
Shit.
sudden sweaty because I chose to wear a sweater, which makes sense. It is a sweater, and I am sweating. However, I'm eating a mango for our listeners at home. It's okay. It tastes alright. Saturday or Sunday evening.
My drink of choice is alcohol right now. Because I'm going through some shit, so that's what we're doing. Thank you for your cooperation.
I have a Coke problem. Coke Zero.
Okay, yeah. Coke is we're not at that level. Would never be at that level.
I already talked too much.
Coke is no. See, I understand Chinese food is good as shit. I want it all the time.
Bet your bippy.
You're hungry 20 minutes later. Like you can't sustain it. So I understand that. Like
Yeah, you do Coke and you're in business meetings every half hour. People
Right.
you don't even know. Redesigning pools for kids that don't want it or some wild shit.
I understand MRE's the same fucking way. That shit's meant to back you up. Like it's the opposite effect. I also don't want those. So I would like to just continue with my day. Weed is awesome.
Yeah. If you ever want to have a square poop, do that.
Alcohol.
MRE will do that for you.
Alcohol for me is like if I want to come out and box for a little bit, I got to be on alcohol because I'm the most timid person. I think Jenny would be able to tell you this more. I've been around Jenny longer than most, but Jenny's also seen me sober and on alcohol. I think
Yeah, you're a lot more like Obi-Wan Kenobi when you're sober. And then you're like this when you're drunk. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi when he's drunk.
what a dick. It's a terrible analogy.
Use the Force, Luke, you fucking pussy. Use it, bitch.
Oh, well, I
Use
mean,
the Force. Use it. Use the Force. Fag. Well, you don't use that language. I use that more than... But, I mean, there's hints of that where, like... You're on the same path, but, like, sometimes there's definitely some wobble to the wheels.
I can't get certain things out if I'm not there. I can't. Even when I'm in, like...
Yeah. Well, we get trained in these ways, and we store our responses to things and our ability to do things get hidden behind these meat locks in our head of can't and can't. Like, that's that respec idea, the sort of the rebirth idea in Buddhism. It's not that you're going to be reincarnated into a butterfly later. It's that you're going to become a cool person, like, in a half hour. It's a matter of, you just go, you know what? Fuck fish. I don't do fish no more. And you just cut out fish. Or
Okay.
like, you know what?
So-
I don't do Legos. No more Legos.
You're saying I could be the same thing without drinking.
Yeah.
in my sober state.
Yeah. But you have more confidence and more. You don't feel as tense, and I think that's where
I'm very tense on the other side. I'm
Right.
super paranoid. Like,
Yeah.
that side is pretty...
And so I think that's where a lot of people get the misconception that they're more productive in these states.
Well,
And
it's not
you're
that. It's
more
just
productive.
very damaged.
It's that
Like,
you're enjoying it more.
that is damaged. The
Yeah.
vulnerable side of me is very damaged.
Yeah, and
It's been hit
it
a lot.
needs crutches to get itself out the door.
Alcohol.
I have Jenny gets me out the door. Same as
That's
booze.
fair.
And there's
That's
a
fair.
ton of people, tons of alcoholics who start their way because this is what's going to get them through step one. It's not because I like it anymore. It's not because I'm a connoisseur. It's because this will get me here, and I need to be here. And it's to them, it's math. It's medicine. It's 3 Advil in the morning.
I've taken breaks off alcohol.
Yep.
I don't like it because I can't like explode through what I need to.
Right.
If I don't have something to give me the edge, I can't like push through the barrier that's been put in front of me, and like
Right.
I know it's there,
Yeah.
and I'm like, when it's just me, I'll sit there and I'll just look at the wall.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know what we're gonna do about this.
Me too. That was
And
about
then
5 years.
You give me some go juice, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get 15 of my buddies. We're gonna come back here and we're just gonna blow this fucking wall apart.
Yeah, it's that drunken master kind of thing. Of like, I had this buddy AJ, love him to pieces, and he for sure, as an employer, I don't think I would want him to not be stoned because he was an excellent employee when he was high. He was a much better employee when he was high because the weed gave him access to things that he kind of was shut off from in a sort of
Every sticky deuce.
normal state. I think it's plugged in. And that's a thing for people, is if in their sort of resting state they don't have access to things they want, they're going to add things to the system to get them into the state that they want to get to. And for so many, they lack the confidence to be out there because, like, oh, people are going to look at you, people are going to say this, people are going to do that. Like, who gives a fuck? We can all say that, but clearly we all kind of give a fuck because we're social critters. There's a pecking order. We got to know who's running shit around here. And for a lot of people who don't have that in their life, they
Who
don't even
is
consider
running
it.
shit?
Us.
Because, like, oh, that's fair.
But that's my thought on it. Like, if that's the question, why not
Because
answer it?
I became a pack animal. Like, my parents died, I didn't have anyone. Like, I am a lone wolf out there walking around just eating shit.
And then still in a group of lone wolves. If you do the set of all wolves that are lone wolves, now you have this group too. And so, like, clearly there is a force of you. There are more of you. There are other one. Like, you're not alone. It's just a geography thing. We got to start getting people put together with the right people. And that's a lot of what we're trying to get figured out at the facility, the headquarters, LXBHQ.
FP.
Word.
Ow.
So this has been a pretty fun stream. I'm going to pop over to the chat here, see what's going on. Oh, he says he's dying. I don't think he's dying, but you know. Opening the YouTube studio. This has been kind of a fun version of it, though. I think we do better in person than over that Skype shit. Like, clearly most people do. But our timing is way better on this. We're not doing the whole, like, what? Huh? Yeah? This thing's like playing Simon, which is a bit cruel for potheads. This is not a sponsor, but the Luca Seahorse 2.0. It's a little dab rig pen thing. I won't zoom in because I'm not going to. But I've been digging this. It's a bit like taking your medicine with a shotgun, but if you saw my injuries, you'd want a bigger gun. So this is pretty good for getting me what I want in a okay delivery. And I was finding too, like, the smell on this is better. The residual smell in the room isn't as kind of funky as going right with plant material. And then I was also finding that smoking the plant material directly was inducing a lot more paranoia, or at least in that period when I stopped. That was kind of why I switched over to this, because it skips that.
Welcome back to watching Denny smoke a lot of weed. It's 1 gram a day of concentrates for
Snoop
this
Jane and
young animal. Just 5 cents a day.
Yeah. Please send me weed, Mike.
Just 5 cents a day, and you can support this poor animal.
We've already considered like the infrastructure we're gonna need so that we can do dabs in the office. We're gonna need like a vending machine for the concentrates. We're gonna need to have like 20 of these things on chargers. We're building like a cyberpunk Knights hospital or some kind of wild shit. Like, it's taking care of everybody by making them able to take care of themselves better. Support as service rather than merely sacrifice. It gives you more shit to do. So, what are you thinking? We're still on the...
Well, yeah, obviously.
Okay. I don't know if you're like, time for TikTok.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna do whatever anyway. Like, I promise you, folks will watch this shit, even if I was,
6 feet out of bread.
if I was clipping my toenails, people would still be watching, which is the incredible thing about this.
The internet is a creepy place. I got the chat up. 0 viewers. I don't know if that's true or not. I can never tell. You? Baba Booey, Howard Stern's penis. That's a fun thing to say on the radio.
We have zero on right now. That's good.
Oh, we got 1 now. And it might be me. It might be me.
Oh.
Who knows?
Oh.
We're in the future. Okay, now let's do a bit of live. It's 5 though, so I don't want to bug Laser because he's probably trying to feed his babies. Speaking of babies,
You can't say that out loud.
should I message my
You can't
baby?
say that out loud.
I want to message them.
Laser can say that. We can't say that. I'm ordering.
What does un pequeño cambio mean? Un pequeño cambio.
What? Say it to Alexa.
Oh, Alexa, what does un pequeño cambio mean?
From Lexico.com. Cambio in Spanish is change.
Something changed. Alexa, what's pequeño in Spanish?
Pacuendo in Spanish is paquino.
Oh, pequeño. Oh, Alexa, what's pequeño in Spanish?
A bikini is a women's two-piece
You're a
swimsuit
bitch,
that
you
features
robot
one piece
lady.
on top that covers
Sometimes
the breast
they don't
and a second
know. She's
piece on
not
top.
helpful.
The front
I just
covering the
mumble.
pelvis, but usually exposing the
Anyway,
navel, and the back
I'm
generally
just reading
covering
the
glute,
captions off my
or all of the buttocks.
Femboy X Squeezes website. Love them. I haven't messaged them yet. I want to. I'm going to, actually.
I'm talking about Garapito.
Mm-hmm. But I haven't talked to them in like a year.
I'm glad that you acknowledge that, even though that's not their name. You knew exactly what I was talking about.
I miss them. They're we used to hang out every fucking day during the
Skilly
plague.
Willy.
Like, the same as anybody else. Like, I was on a video chat with them all day, every day. And we just sit there and stare at each other because neither of us spoke the same fucking language. And it was adorable. It was such a good time. However, I kind of want to go up to the weed store. Not today, but soon. And
Why?
maybe scope out that situation.
Why? What? Who? Oh, you're talking about... Oh, you're talking about... Shabadoo over here. Oh, I thought you were talking about Colombian
I
Lord.
was too. I know. I'm a fucking mess. I got hoes in all kinds of area codes. JK.
Jesus, we're still on.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Now we may have to take it down.
Yeah, dude. We're waiting for the racist stuff to slip in. Those goddamn Swedes and their fucking weird hair.
By the way, racism is only funny because people make it that way. Just so everyone knows, no one is racist. It's just because we make it an issue. That's what makes it an issue.
It's the...
Nobody hates one another, by the way. We give other people reasons to hate other people. Not sure why, but that's what we do.
Yeah, because like as kids, it's basically fed to you like Lions versus Packers. Like it's not even early on like, oh, they're evil or whatever. It's just like they're not on our team. It does not
make any sense, though. Yeah. When you think about it,
You're like, why the fuck wouldn't they be? And they're like, well, cause... And then that's when all of a sudden... Because when you start asking your first questions, like, well, how come we can't hang out with them? Well, their dad is...
Right, it's just like... What? Look, I was in the Marine Corps for 14 fucking years. If a Republican came up to me and was like, woo! I'd be like, what do you stand for?
Yeah, dude.
And they'd be like, I want guns, and I want...
It's crazy the list
no
of shit
abortion.
they got.
I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why is that important to you?
What do you do with your gun besides cooler abortions? Duh.
Well,
sorry, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. But seriously, like...
Hold still, lady.
The no abortion thing, like, who...
It's a medical procedure. You want to get... This lady's got a headless body rotting in her womb, and we're like, fuck you, that's
Folks,
murder.
We are not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
This is all stuff that's been here.
But this is all... What's wild, too, is if you go through history, you will see cycles of this, where these same things, they go after abortion policies. They go after people who they malign as being in poverty. They go after people as they malign as having too much secret power.
You're
people
right.
Who are hidden. People who are...
Pray and pray.
It's this constant thing of like, look over here, oh, spooky, and thank you, and like, so you need to, not you need to, as in if I'm telling you what to do, but if there is something you feel like you got to do in this situation to escape it, it's a matter of just fucking quitting. Just, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna do something else, and just do whatever that something else is. Like, that is, in my belief, the nearest thing you can get to really following God, is what is he whispering in your ear every goddamn day? Like, I do think God made me this way, because I was trying for ages to not be this. Of course. And I didn't find peace until I followed it.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a unicorn. That's fucking great.
Right.
Like, everyone hates on it all the time. You see someone and they're a little bit different, and you're like, oh,
burn it,
well,
burn it, burn it.
Yep, set it on fire.
Murder, get it.
That is literally what we have done for ages, by the way.
It's crazy for wild shit too. Like, what do you mean you like it in 3-4? I like it in 4-4, and then band members start fighting and
bang. Like,
the McCoy Hatfield feud.
Bang.
So the McCoy Hatfield feud started when my great something uncle Joseph, I believe, Joseph or James, start with a J. He gets popped by Vance Hatfield because he comes home after he fought for the Union. And Randall, his brother, fought for the Confederacy because Civil War, like they said, was a brother versus brother thing. And this, I can say it because I'm a McCoy, this dickless I can't because I'm getting frustrated by it now. But this Vance motherfucker started this whole thing because he didn't feel man enough. He didn't have the tools in his toolbox to project, I'm a strong person, I'm taking care of my family. And he couldn't say it, and he couldn't be told it, and at some point he felt he needed to demonstrate it. And so, because he was effectively such a fucking Nancy, he shoots Joseph, and all of a sudden, all of our relatives are getting shot at and dodging one another, and it's fucking bananas. We're in cartoons now as a joke, because Jim Vance had fucking dick problems, or whatever his issue was, and had to take it out on Joseph. Like, there's... Because he lacked the ability to say the thing, he had to find another... and he couldn't paint, and he couldn't play piano, but he could point a revolver at shit. But that's the thing of, you know, if you give people the opportunity to say it a different way, because they got to get it out. They got to get it out. And the first minute you give them something to do it, they're like, whoa! It's like unbuttoning your pants at Thanksgiving. They're all of a sudden just like weird freedom of like, oh my God, I can feel where the stars are now. Or like just weird new realizations.
Is that what I'm doing right now?
A bit of it, yeah. Like navigating the existential dilemmas are wild. Because what am I here for? What am I doing? And existentialism itself as a philosophy is kind of wild. Where it sort of goes past even nihilism as a concept of like there is no God, nothing matters, but existence itself is this is it, this is what it is to be this, and so you just have to take life as it is handed to you, which is what scripture says anyway, what most religions say anyway,
right.
What most self-help books
Which
tell
we've
you
talked
anyway
about. Yeah,
is you got dealt a
there.
shit sandwich, take the parts you like, throw away the rest, and maybe develop a taste for shit. Otherwise, wait a minute, a new sandwich is coming. Like, regrettably, this is how it is, but this is the buffet we're at. And, like, this is how they serve the food. I'm sorry, but this is where we were born. In the shit sandwich buffet.
Everyone has their own buffet. Not everyone's given
Well,
the
some
same
motherfuckers
buffet.
get a better seat, I'll tell you what.
No, you're right.
And they're
Some
better.
people get the fresh food,
And then the rest of us get gummy bears and Hot Pockets and biscuits and gravy. Which
I
is
mean, that's a good
wonderful.
shit. Never mind. Don't.
Yeah, wait. Keep it coming.
That's good shit.
Keep it coming. Keep all the offcuts coming. I'll turn them into hot dogs. You rich pricks.
I
They can
remember-
eat all the gross
When
shit.
you said gummy bears, I thought about the first marathon that I ran. And I'm not going to lie, like, you came up to those aid stations every 6 miles.
Mhm.
I mean, if you didn't come on that spot,
Yeah.
I'd be surprised. Coming around that corner, they had like, it was just like a candy store. And they were like, go ahead and take whatever you want. And you were like, I'm going to have this and this, and I earned this.
Gimme.
How many miles have I done? 12? All right. Yeah, we're going to do...
I think I'll take the nerd's rope then.
Oh.
Just running with it in your
Oh.
mouth. I think I'm going to throw up.
Those gummy bears that I put down, they helped me get across the finish line. I know they did. They were fighting.
I
They
got
were
fucked
fighting
up
for
one
me.
time because I was at a search and rescue thing. Some kind of like, I think it was either SAR practice, like a SAR staff training, or maybe, fuck, I can't remember, but I had a bunch of those Necco wafers you get at the gas station. The like, who the fuck knows what they're made out of? Some kind of material scraped off the inside of like church floors. But it has kind of a flavor. And then I got those and some chocolate milk. And so of course I had the wildest stomach pain ever because I was eating dust and milk, which is, you know, bad. And yeah, dude, I
Say dust?
basically, like, Necco wafers are like this chalky,
Beep bop.
they're like compacted. My guess would be that it's compacted like the way you would do like tablets for pills, and it's
Oh,
just high
shit.
pressure sugar, and it's these like
Yikes.
wafery things. And they're like a bit crunchy, but
That's not a good thing.
and they come in like a big fucking sleeve, like the size of a Snickers
Not
bar.
a good thing.
Yeah, dude. If it was quarters, it'd be like $40, and I ate all of it. And then pounded like half a gallon of chocolate milk, and then wanted to climb a goddamn mountain. It's like, why don't I feel good?
And then we're supposed to die, but we're still here, which is amazing. I've done an insane amount of cocaine, by the way.
Note for the investors: we party.
I don't do it anymore. I've done it. Why would I lie? That's part of our platform. I'm not gonna lie about anything that I've done. It's there. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Enough cocaine to put down a horse. Did that. Not gonna do it anymore. But
horse.
yep.
That'd be a wild way to take down a horse. Come here, motherfucker.
I know. Well, actually, they do it quite often to horses. They're like, hey,
They just line that inside
you
rail
run,
of the track.
You run really fast. Go a little bit faster. Like,
their hearts explode.
I know.
The size
Yeah,
of fucking basketballs. These poor things.
watching a horse go down bothers me more than a human going down at this point. Like,
yeah, because people are like, fuck that guy.
I know. I'm like, they were an asshole anyway. People are gonna say about me, so fuck you.
Yeah, I won't kill spiders, but I will posture on like old ladies. I'm like, oh, leave it alone, it's a fly. And then I'm like, I will smack the fuck out of you, woman. And they're like, whoa.
We flex when we have to.
Put your hands in my pickle jar one more time, bitch.
I'll
leave them in there permanent style.
I would love to have a video against like a true-blooded Karen.
Just, we need to come up with an event like that. We're like in the pit. We just start matching up people we want to have. Like, fuck these like, oh, debate beam bro kind of situations. Like, we just like set up our own Jerry Springer shit. And we're just like one-on-one, this bitch and that bitch, make it happen. And then it'd be hilarious.
I know.
But then also make them debate serious topics. Like crazy shit though, like, I don't know, trade law or something, so that way they're like also like out of their wheelhouse. Cause that's even funnier. Is when someone's like, I bet it would be cause, you know. You're like, okay.
No, that's when we would both be like, no, what are you trying to say here?
Yeah, what does it be like?
Go ahead, continue.
What do it be?
Continue.
What do it be indeed?
Pretty much like what we're doing right now. Like, no, continue with that message. And
With a capital U.
what are you, me?
No, C-U-N-T, didn't you?
Oh.
Continue.
Me?
Down on the farm. Whichever. I'm just saying stuff at this point. I said cunt. Because cunt is in continue, if you want it to be. I mean, you can put cunt in a lot of places. Because it's very, travel friendly? I don't know, compact. Most of the time. Much of the time. Well,
Am I just being a European cunt? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
no, I was trying to fit in the joke calling the lady a cunt. I wasn't calling you a cunt. Are you being all self-conscious? It's the weed.
It is.
It does that.
And I wish you would have called me that. If you'd have been like, no, I wasn't, but... No, I wasn't, but actually...
That'd be kind of nice.
Sometimes that's what I identify as, so fuck you.
That's your, like, pronouns. You just put cunt, and they're like, well... This is going to be tricky on the driver's license,
I
but...
put European cunt. I don't want to be specific. I just want to put like
You're like, let's
I'm
go
an asshole from this area. All right?
Western Mediterranean, more Spanish and French than Italian and Greek, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And you see what this is, like, we know I fight, okay? Like, get over it.
I need shrimp and fish and mountains and goats.
Right. Yeah, and I like to bite stuff. Often.
Yeah, dude.
I also love my kids, though, like, would do anything for them. They're my life. Everything else, I do not care. I swear on this earth.
That's
I
that kind
don't
of
care.
goes back to before, like, the interesting challenge of having a complicated inheritance. Like, I've got some artifacts, some physical artifacts that are kind of symbolic of something kind of like this, where my mom had some reading glasses and some other implements that belonged to a fella who molested her, my great-grandfather.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so people gave her a big old box of this shit thinking, like, you like family history. And then she opens it, and it's like the spectagoggles of the fucking monster who was being all predatory-like on her.
Oh, God.
And so, like, imagine how many other people out there in their life, though, get handed a box like that of, like, oh, Uncle Floyd died. And then, like, Uncle Floyd was terrific. He didn't touch nobody. But, like, that's a name. Uncle Floyd died. And then all of a sudden you get Uncle Floyd's shit. And you're like, oh, I remember a thing. And, like, demons.
No,
like
I
little
mean,
Pandora's boxes.
I think that's why I shot my family out and, like, stopped seeing my kids. I was like, yeah, you guys don't need this.
It's getting a little weird.
It is fucking crazy over here. So go ahead, like, you guys live your life,
Yeah.
and
You guys go do the 1940s, get your, like, That 70s Show shit done. I'll see you when you need money.
yeah, whatever words you have to come up with for me, that's so much better than
Yeah.
you going through this.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like,
'Cause
I will not have them go through.
And it's hard to, because it is, yes, you are depriving them of X, but then that is also, as an equal measure, then deprivation of Y, which is the thing you're trying to keep away from them. You have these, like, positive traits that you would love to be giving
Yeah.
to them,
Yeah.
but then you're also realizing, like, these negative traits are going to burn a hole right through any fucking positive shit
Yeah.
you give them.
That's right.
Because you're like, oh, I taught him how to throw a baseball, and then I punched him in the mouth. Like, well, I think that second part's going to be a little bit more impactful. Like,
I'm not gonna let the legacy continue.
yeah, it's got to stop somewhere, and it's the harder decision. You know, there's people like, oh, buck up, just get your shit together and get back there, and, like, that's the easy decision, because that's you going back to the easy thing. The hard part is coming up with a way to not get this data transmitted, and, like, what's going to be interesting is they're going to have a unique new form of suffering from.
You're right. They're not gonna be. I know that. That's trade-off, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what
Well,
would
you're
be the
hoping-
trade-off if I let the river flow?
Right.
Where, I mean,
Because here's where you're kind of hoping, is you're hoping that,
I
The
have a
pain-
dam. That's all I did was
Right.
make a dam.
and you're kind of hoping too that, like, if we be sort of, like, materially honest, the trade is that material neglect is a far easier like sin to suffer than material abuse. Like, yes, there are straight up harms.
Explain that.
So
I don't explain both because I don't know what both of those mean.
like I'm weird with my language too, but, like, in like, not emotionally. Like, when I say material, I mean, like, in physical space. Like, so not like being emotionally distant or being, you know, like, oh yeah, I love my family, but, like, you know, like any of that kind of shit. But, like, physically, nuts and bolts, doing the math on the ground. What's the manpower situation? Are these things happening? And so you're saying, in your bet is, and this is where all parents make bets like this in different forms and varieties of, I do this or I do that, or you get here, and so you're kind of hoping that the impact of you're still trying to maintain open communication as best you can, but in general, you're not an everyday presence for them, and you're hoping that like that sort of negative influence certainly is less than what would have been coming had that not been. So you're hoping that like, yeah, you pushed them out of the way of a bus into a smaller car, but that's still better than the fucking bus. And so like,
that's the way I see it in my mind. Like, I went with the logical choice here. Like, I've seen it too many times, right? Like,
yeah.
When someone falls apart and like and I watched myself doing it to my kids.
Yeah.
And Liam, like, watching myself fall apart in front of kids.
Because
it's not something you want to go through.
They are freakishly observant, those little things. They see everything you do. They ask questions that you don't want to answer in the moment you don't want to answer it. It is like, hey, buddy.
Look, if I'm not in the spot to be good for you, as a parent, I'd rather. Okay, I would have been there if I needed to be there, but I knew my kids were good. They were in a safe, healthy environment without me there. That's what I chose.
Yeah, like if that plate's already spinning, there's no sense touching it if you don't have a better place to put it, kind of. Like that's some of, when you're dealing with so many chaotic things in life, it's a bit of triage at times, and you kind of have to go, okay, this can chill here for a minute, and you kind of go with, you do really need to break it up into pieces. You're never really going to finish one project all at once, because releasing one thing opens up another, and then this goes to another, and da-da-da-da-da. But you kind of go piece at a time with what your new capabilities are. It may not be with what the mission requires, but you tend to evolve sort of capability at a time, not necessarily need at a time. And so you're like, oh, now I can do this again, or now I can do that again, or well, I was never able to do this before.
Does it feel weird? Like I feel like I'm gonna be. I feel like my purpose. My main purpose is to just be here, right? Because I don't have my parents, so I know how important that is. Jenny has both of her parents.
Yeah.
And that's a huge impact on their life. I don't have that, so...
Yeah, and I got my brother, who... We have a weird relationship, but it is good. It is our version of good.
And I have pushed away all of my family, including my brother and my sister. I pretty much... I don't have anyone except for... Stevie and a handful of veterans, and my kids, hopefully. But what started that?
The I was on point 2, and then I fell off. Ding. We were talking about, the material thing, right, of the betting, and hoping that the time not spent there is a lesser impact than what would have happened had you been there sort of at your worst moments.
Yeah, so I just want to be there for my kids. The main thing is to stay.
Oh, and then family stuff, because I got a bunch of family and shit lying around, and you have slimmer numbers by the day.
Right, I just want to remain here. That's my big thing is I never want to hate on anyone for having what I don't have. I just want to say, like, the only thing I'm trying to do is just stay. Stay here and be there for my kids, and one day, we'll hopefully have that connection.
The door. Oh, it might be the neighbors trying to walk their dog.
That's fine.
Oh, or it's not.
Alright, you lead off.
Leading off. Oh, the dogs are going bananas. B-A-N-A. No, I can't even spell it right.
I'm gonna check the chat to see if anybody's hollering. Any holler back, girls? Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Meow, meow. Ooh, she's adorable. It's not what cameras are for. What'd you get? I'm hungry now.
More goat juice.
Oh. Dear. Party. This interlude's fun. The top of my head. Dee dee dee. Top of my head show. Top of my head. I'm gonna order some wings. Did they get rid of my favorite one? What the fuck? Sorry, gang, this is important. I think they got rid of my favorite sauce at my chicken place.
Super important.
The pineapple teriyaki was my absolute favorite. And I think they got rid of it. That's some bullshit. I must have been the only one ordering it, which... I get it. I rule. I'm gonna get these ones. And a partridge in a pear tree. Oh, it comes with drinks for some fucking reason. Cool.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
What my card was? Oh, I got
And
it.
then I grabbed it up and I smashed it against the ground and then I stomped on it and that partridge.
Yay! Got his dick kicked in.
That was gone.
So, what is the plan with what's the plan for the business stuff? Do we have any ideas on that are broadcastable?
Yeah, we have been time traveling on air,
Mm-hmm.
which is great. I don't know how productive, but okay.
Yeah, it can be at times.
So we're waiting on the building inspection.
Yep.
When is the...
Saturday or Sunday, they want to know which one's better for us.
Okay. It is Thursday. Okay. Probably Saturday.
Okay.
But I'll need to check with Oh Boy.
Okay. Yeah, once you check with him, I'll let him know.
And then I gotta talk to our valiant Mustang of a brother.
Yeah.
And see where we get.
Hell yeah, I'm pretty excited that everybody's so excited for it. Like that is still kind of like I knew it was a good idea, not because like it was mine or anything, but because I knew I needed all this stuff
and at a minimum, I need it built, and so I'm a customer. And then,
Well, I'm a
already-
customer too, yeah.
right, like as we go, we're running into people who are already like, I could use this, and so, and we're not thinking to do anything too ridiculous, other than,
I'm not doing anything ridiculous. Like,
yeah, it's
what we're
kinda
doing
like,
is just
take care of
we're-
people.
yes.
Like it'll be a social club. To a
We're
degree,
working
or
to take care of others. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, like we'll have a membership, and the members will be taken care of, and like our payroll system's gonna be kind of cool once we get that going. But like, even our members who are sort of like auxiliary, or just helpers, or supporters, or just anybody we interact with, our goal is everybody wins, and so any place we get, we're gonna try and do our best to see that everybody's impacted positively by what's going on, or at least has the opportunity to be so. If we can't guarantee it in some situations, we can at least try to put those ducks in the right rows. But there's places to work, and like a lot of it is, I need places to paint and work, and so we'll have a big crafting space, and then my mom wants to knit, and there's a lot of different skills that require the same tools, and so having these workspaces put together, having these workout spaces where we can do exercises and help folks get in shape and just burn off some steam, the places to be quiet, the places to be loud, the opportunities to try businesses. That's the big thing I want to give people the opportunity to do, is test run businesses. Like kind of Shark Tanky, I'm thinking in the future, but we get to a
Hold on.
point where
That's
the
lady.
however we can support your idea, we figure out how we can do it. If you want to sell it in our shop, or these aren't things I can promise right now because they're not in place, and they're not things I can give you yet, but these are things I would like to be able to give you in the future. I mean, the first round goal is just to create kind of a safe haven for people who are ready to work on something else and work on something new. Hey baby girl, what you freaking out about? Come here, come be my buddy. Hey buddy. She's wigging out because the puppy's next door.
Come here.
Baby girl,
Relax.
come be on the TV.
Relax.
Relax.
We're good. Relax. Come on.
What are you sniffing?
Come on.
It's buddy time. Come be my buddy. Little sis. Come be my buddy.
Alright. Come on.
Look, yeah. There's my girl. Oh, that's the microphone. You're on the radio now. Oh, that's cool. She's so over it already. That's the kind of employee you need, who's like, I don't give a fuck. Well, mission first, really.
Mima.
She's gonna go hunt the mailman or something. Baby. You gonna come here, buddy? Come do an interview, puppy. We have
Sammy.
questions.
Come on.
Come interview. She's like,
Baby girl.
burning off the last few like joules of energy in her. If that's the approach, I don't know. Or energies and joules? Probably. Maybe. Something like that.
Oh yeah, what's your sign?
I have no idea. Not like jewelry, but like Joules, I think.
Excuse me, tiny one.
Hey you.
Come on.
Hey you.
Jeez Louise.
What's up, girl?
Pistol
What's up,
Pete
girl?
over here.
Look at you.
Oh, you gotta be all fancy and everything.
Mm-hmm. This is her TV debut. She's like,
See-
hey, I'm on YouTube.
See how she has her
Oh.
po-
She's like, listen, bud, we gotta. Oh, yeah? She's starting her lady times. She's like 9 months
Jeez.
old, so she's gotta.
Yeah,
Clean
we're
up
doing
shop.
the thing.
She's a woman now. Poor Pippi. Now the boys are gonna start coming for you.
Don't worry, I'll eat all
Should
of
we
them.
do, what's that called? ASMR?
I don't even know what that means.
You guys want to hear this? I usually just listen to Sam licking her box to go to sleep. It's really soothing.
Is that ASMR?
I think that's what it is. Well, I mean, not in particular. Like, it's not specifically German Shepherd.
Can
like
we
in the
stop?
vagina.
Can we stop?
I get it. It's like, I gotta get some more in before I stop.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna stop that one.
Ain't you fuzzies. Look. That's crazy. You see that shit. You're like, what?
Hi, darling.
Yeah, dude.
Sweet lady.
I don't even like dogs, but this one's cool. Oh. See, she got offended by that.
Fine.
She's signaling. She is fickle about being inside because it's nice out. So she comes in for a sec. She's like, okay, you guys are cool. I gotta go do shit again. Goodbye. And then we're like, nah, we're sitting here. She's like, door.
She's like,
I don't
so
think you.
are we going outside now, or?
Or I mean, we could go now if that's sooner.
But now?
No.
No? Alright. But now? But now...
But otherwise, like, it's weird. Like, some dogs chew or don't chew. It's one or the other. This one chews whichever things you designate as chewable.
Yeah.
My shoes are all over the floor in perfect condition.
She's a
And
good
then the designated items are fucked. Like Gatorade cat bottles, and
She has a hard dad.
there's shrapnel all over my carpet in the living room. Every now and again, like, I gotta get the vacuum out because I'll be barefoot. Like, oh, son of a bitch.
I told her I would be Mike Tyson with her ear if she touched any of my stuff. So she has a good trainer. Not sure for good psychological reasons, but I get the job done.
Yeah. I've trained other dogs. Devil dogs. I was in the Air Force. I trained hot dogs.
Hey, the secret to being good in the Marine Corps is learning how to bite. How?
And do those weird creases on the shirt. That's another thing. It's a hard one.
It's not hard.
I know. The other branches were like, what the fuck?
I know. The
You just
Marine Corps
fold it
does
again.
just a little bit more, and they're like, we're the supreme bitch because we have bigger dicks.
Yeah.
And
It's like, why are you guys doing all this drag race shit before our... Like, in the Air Force, we just throw on a suit with some shit on it and we get out
I know.
there.
Well,
And
that's
then
the
you
deal.
guys do, like, the drag race version. Like,
That's why some
da,
people,
da.
like, when they want to join the service, I'm like, going to the Air Force. And they're like, why? I'm like,
It's a waste of
smarter
time,
option.
almost.
Works like a business and not, a country club of...
Yeah. There's definitely sections of it where it's for sure still the military, but there's a lot of it that's kind of like Stepford Wives and...
It's a business.
But with
It
nuclear
works like
weapons.
a corporation and not
Yeah. But still a little bit more like a mafia, like a Yakuza. Like, it's definitely like an
Certain
organization
parts of
that
it.
kills people.
certain parts of it work like that, but
Yeah.
the main Air Force is like, all right, we're a business.
Yeah, we got shit to do. We got customers.
Yeah. And
They want
it's the
ordnance.
it's the intellect side.
Because in a lot of cases, too, the air mission is a customer-oriented thing, because it's mostly going to be based on, outside of strategic shit like strategic bombing, you're going to be supporting the ground element in some way. And so the Air Force is always going to be a bit of a response to what's going on the ground. Unless it's, long-range, specific kind of horseshit like strategic bombing. But for the most part, you're not going to send fighters unless there's other shit going on. You're not going to send other bombers unless there's other shit going on. Like, our job is to make sure our customers get the kind of weapon they need. And that's kind of the interesting part about the Air Force. Like, we have a selection of weapons. You give us a call. What size do you want? How big? How many? What time? And that's kind of the ideal. It's sort of like a highly specialized logistics, and almost like the same as artillery these days. Like, who you want killed and how. 8 passed out. Sleepyhead. It's probably not the beer. He'll say that later. Right?
Go fuck yourself.
I'm just tired. It's only 5:44. Everyone goes through deuces. Yeah, dude. I get it. Sometimes you gotta rip a wound open to let it heal right. Which is it's an unpleasant experience, and it's not fun to watch. And it's not fun to do. And it's not fun to get caught up in. But it's one of the things that just needs to get done. It's like those infected wounds in a hospital. You pop it open, it smells fucking awful, and everybody's puking, but thank God you got it open. But it's in your brain now. It's making your brain smell gross. Brains already smell gross. Oh shit, I forgot to get food. I was gonna order food and I didn't. Continue. Yes. Yes, queen. Oh, god damn it. Oh, it did work. Yay, god don't damn it. I got some food coming. In like an hour, though. Which, whatever. Whatever. That's how I express joy now. Bubbles. Bubble cannon for the puppy. Really? I am surprised by that reaction.
What?
She backed away from it. I thought for sure she'd be like a bubble biter.
No.
Bubble biter.
She's a little girl.
It is a baby girl. It's a bubble girl. Okay. Ooh. These feel fun when they touch me. Bubbles. I forgot how cool bubbles were. Come here, sweetness. Come here, you. We're gonna interview you about your basketball scores. Come tell us. You started with Michigan State in the spring, and then you were moving, is what you said? Your dad was moving, so you were gonna go to Colorado State, was it?
Who?
The dog. She plays. I'm insane, and she tells me what to do. She wanted me to kill the neighbors, and I was really not on board with that. But she kind of understood what, you know. It took her a sec, but I was like, hey, Sam, we can't be killing all the neighbors. Just the squirrels and stuff, I guess. Because those guys, now, if you're going to listen to talking animals, avoid the squirrels. They are dicks. So, she can take care of them. None of the... Whatever, it doesn't matter. Invest now in the League of Extraordinary Beings. We're crazy, but only where it matters.
We don't kill neighbors.
Yeah, dude. You don't shit where you eat, and I should eat more. I don't know what that...
We don't kill neighbors unless we sign a contract to join our country's army, and
Then, sorry, neighborino. Diddly ho.
we definitely do kill neighbors at that point.
There's stories of my
You
ancestors
get away with it, though.
who were known for being kind of like goofy, and we were these things called gallows glasses, which were contract mercenaries. So we get hired for these jobs, and it was well known that you could hire us to fight each other. And it was like, a job's a job. And they're like, are you shitting me? You're fighting for them? You're going to be fighting against your brothers or whatever. And they're like, hopefully they get paid more. I don't know what to tell you. Like, we're weird. We come from long lines of, like, weird motherfuckers who were just cool with the strangest shit. There's like, this is how your life goes. And they're like, alright. Or they were like distraught with it somehow and fighting against it. But A lot of it they did. I'm sure they didn't even think about because it was just part of the fabric of things.
They're okay with death.
They were more than okay with it. They were weird about it. Like they weren't fixated on it. They weren't like gothy
move
with
forward.
it. Yeah, they were very much just like, well, that one died. But that's kind of an Irish thing too, because they do that. Luck of the Irish is not good luck. Oh, the potatoes are gone. I think we're fucked here. Oh shit, Mary's dead. I'm by myself. The farm's empty. And now I'm just gonna be played by a little fucking leprechaun in America. Diddly doo, doodly doo, racism. Yeah. The Irish are fun because it's still one of those groups of people who are like, yeah, but they're all alcoholic scumbags. You're like, alright. Close, but calm it down. You don't have to be so on the nose with it, I suppose. We're only scumbags in the literal sense. I don't know, we're always, like, since 1763, bunch of lovable goofballs.
Who you want me to kill, boss? Oh, I bet, yeah, I can get that done. You can pay how much? Fuck, I'll kill him twice. I'll bring him back to life and shoot him twice. I mean, you can't, but I'm saying I would if that was... Anyway, do.
Like, that level of all through history.
Hey, you fellas find an axe? I swear to God, if my head was not attached, I'd lose it too. But I can't find my axe, and I can't find my left greave. I don't know. I had both of them. Anyway, I'll go back here. If you guys find it, let me know. Puppy dog. Climb over. Attack. Don't attack, but climb over. Yeah, obstacle course. It's that Japanese game show you like. You were the one telling me about it. Thunder Fun Course or something? I don't know. Your language is wild. Baby girl with your crazy face. I know. She speaks the craziest languages, this dog. I love her. Hey, you. Wink. What's up? Uh-huh. She's so like, come the fuck on. I want to throw stuff. Alright. Well, I think that's a signal. Sleepyhead here can use a nap. And Knucklehead here could use a stick. And I could use some chicken real soon. And I don't necessarily want to eat all my dinner on stream, because we're not doing that kind of shit around here. Alright? No mukbangs, weirdo. In the interim, we both love the fuck out of you. So take that for what it is. And we'll let you know what's going on the next time we turn it all on. Bye.